0 for 5 in the ball game last night. He's hitting at 264 now, and Eaton's pitch to him will be taken outside for a ball. Derek Jeter's trying to get things wound up a little bit. He got a good start to the season. He's hit a bit of an early bump right now. The hits have not been coming for him. 1-0 delivery to him is taken for a strike. Stay with that cutter. That's what Rick Kranitz has said to Adam Eaton. Use the best pitch you've got more than anything else and try and locate it. Stay with your strength. Here's the 1-1 delivery. Jeter takes it outside, 2-1.
But the problem is that he doesn't command his fastball very well. It's a work in progress. He's 31. He had Tommy John surgery. So when he came up, #1 draft choice, 12th guy picked. He was a flamethrower. 95, 97. There's your good pitch. There's your fastball you were talking about, Gary.
He can put it there. He'll be all right. Jeter, Jeter's like, yeah, if he can put it there, I can't hit it.
And nor does he want to. You talked about the 0 for 5. You start putting those pitches in play, you're going to be 0 for 6.
2 ball, 2 strike count. And Eaton gets it in down the line. That's going to be a foul ball, just protecting the outside part of the plate. As Eaton again with that pitch that is down and away.
Yeah, kind of hard to tell sometimes between his cutter and his slider, but the one thing that Derek Jeter does so well, let's take a look at our Exmo. He covers the outside part of the plate. He'll fight the pitch off inside, so that's a ball he had to reach for, but still able to get the good part of the bat on.
Jeter will pump that one back into the seats for the foul ball. Jeter has struck out 18 times while drawing 11 walks on the season. A little bit high at this point of the year in the strikeout department for him, but that will settle down a bit. He's had only 6 hits in his last 31 at bats. The Yankee captain switching, of course, with Johnny Damon in the top 2 spots this season, as Joe Girardi flipped him around, putting Jeter first and Damon second. 2-2 delivery by Eaton, and almost caught him as he came inside on a 3-2 count.
Hey, one thing about Derek Jeter, and they play him a couple of steps to right field, is he can hit the ball all over the place. He's got 6 hits to left. It tells me he's not much of a pull hitter. 16 up the middle and 11 to right. So that's a tremendous balance. He uses the entire field, which is why he has a lifetime batting average of .315.
Takes that one down the line to right. Marakis is going to have to play it on a hop and a quality at bat. As Jeter fell behind, got it full, and then delivers a leadoff single.
Let's take a look at the Oriole defense behind Adam Eaton. 6 pitches. And Jeter dumps the single in there. Montanez, Jones, and Marakis. That's the outfield. Moore is Turris, Roberts, and Huff. Turris, the Gold Glove winner, and Greg Zahn, the veteran catcher at 38. He's been hot with the bat behind the plate.
Johnny Damon now. Hit and run. He can do it with the best, and he's got that big hole between first and second. 5-game hit streak for Damon. Pitch is taken on the inside corner. He continued it last night with a 1 for 4 in the ball game, batting at .312, and 7 home runs already for Damon, who continues to be the active leader in triples with 93. He doesn't get a lot of those anymore, and that's a big number. Throw over and almost off the mark in order to get Jeter back into the bag. See the hits, 2,304. They said to Johnny Damon, you're getting a little bit old. Don't you think you ought to start thinking about retiring? His response was, I want to make it to the top 10 in hits. He's got a ways to go. And the pitch is taken away, but he feels he can play until he's 40 years old, or even more than that maybe, as Damon is 35 right now. So he'd like to give it a whirl.
Yeah, there was an article in the New York Times today talking about Posada, who's on the DL, hurt his hamstring a couple of games ago. He's 38. Jeter's going to be 35 later on in the summer. Johnny Damon's 35. His contract extends. His 4-year deal with the Yankees extends through this season, but yeah, that article said at least 39.
I think he'd want to go beyond that. I think he feels he can. You never know as you get older and you play the game for so long that as soon as the fun, the charge goes, then you're not going to be around anymore because you won't be successful at it, and you probably don't want to be around when the magic disappears. But certainly for Damon, that's not the case right now. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Jeter on at first base, being held by Huff. There goes Jeter. Hit and run on. Slap foul outside of third. And the count will remain at 1-2. We told you that Eaton's best inning has been the first inning this year. His ERA in the first inning is 1.8. After that, 8.4.
So again, our ex-Mo relates. And you can see the pronation of the arm as it comes through. And think about it, you're throwing it to a 17-inch plate. Well, actually, maybe with the width of the ball, it gets about 22 inches wide, trying to throw it out of the middle of that plate.
Jeter not going this time. 1-2 delivery is going to come inside. Count goes to 2-2.
Well, that's that cut fastball, and what happens, and we saw it off of Bob McCrory, who came in relief of Jeremy Guthrie last night, is that Damon can hit the ball everywhere. And he hit a double right over the third base bag. So again, there's a guy that has played 140 more games in the last 13 years. So maybe he will play. Maybe he'll wear down. He's played so much. But he's played hard and remained relatively healthy.
2 ball, 2 strike count. Set up outside, and that's where he went, and that's where they got him. High and away. Damon a strikeout victim.
Well, we showed you the two-seam grip on the fastball. This is a cut fastball, and it's a backdoor cutter. Johnny thinks he's going to come back and hit the outside corner, and it just pretty much just spins and stays away from him, and he swings right through it.
Look at that, brought to you by Northrop Grumman, the information systems powerhouse. So the strikeout for Eaton, 1 away. Jeter still on at first base. Mark Teixeira receives his usual greeting. Teixeira had another tough ball game last night with a couple of strikeouts in the game. Average has dipped down now to 192. And he will take the pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Teixeira's had just 5 hits in his last 20 at-bats. The 5 home runs and 15 RBIs are really amazing with that average. 3 Ks in the game last night. He did, however, get on with a walk, which is something that has been, to this point, the most successful part of his season.
But he's always done that, and you buy a Gold Glove, you buy a high on-base percentage, you buy a guy that averages 30 home runs, 100 RBIs. They paid a lot for it. I remember when Reggie Jackson came to the Orioles, he said, Diamond, when the smoke clears, I'll have my 30 dingers, you'll have your 20 wins. And I go, oh, really? When the smoke clears, well, when the smoke clears, they hope that Teixeira will do what he usually does.
Well, he's certainly not going to be a 192 hitter.
And he's doing most of the damage. He's only hit 149 from this side of the plate, but 4 of the 5 home runs.
Takes the pitch inside, a 2 ball, 1 strike count. And both teams are doing what you would expect in this game. Eaton's throwing a lot of pitches, trying to locate, trying to work the corners. The Yankees take a lot of pitches. 2-1 delivery and a towering pop-up. Moore is coming. Zahn is there, and Zahn makes the play.
Well, a much easier play for the third baseman, but Zahn called him off.
They get the out, 2 down. Here comes A-Rod.
The ball's up, and you can see, maybe you can't see it from there, but Eaton is saying straight up. Again, high sky, not too many clouds. The rain is cleared, and Greg Zahn able to record the second out.
Last night, first pitch scene of the season coming off the DL. And he made some baseball magic, a 3 RBI homer.
Pretty timely.
That was enough for the ball game. A-Rod, second game now. Timeout taken at the plate. Is Zahn looking over into the Oriole dugout here. Took his mask off. Maybe wanted to recheck as to what they wanted Eaton to do here with Jeter on at first base and 2 down. Rodriguez has only faced Eaton a couple of times. He's 0 for 2. And the slider will miss up high for a ball.
Well, there are a lot of Yankees that have pretty good numbers against Adam Eaton. As we mentioned, he's 1-1 lifetime with an ERA of a little bit over 4 runs a game. First, Swisher just came to the Yankees. He's got very good numbers, a couple of home runs. Teixeira was 5 for 8 until they popped up with a home run. A-Rod with a home run. He hits home runs off everybody.
Runner goes, throw down. Jeter head first dive, and he's got a stolen base. Derek Jeter getting the jump, gets himself into scoring position. That is going to be his. Well, let me check here. First stolen base.
Yeah, big lead. Pretty good throw. He's able to get in there. Again, you have to catch it, and it's an inside fastball. Take it to your other side. So that's the difference between success. It actually was a lot closer than you would have anticipated.
2-0 count, 2 down. A-Rod gets another RBI opportunity here, and that pitch will catch the outside corner for a strike. 2-1. Their leading RBI and homer man for the last 4 seasons. And if last night's any indication, he will again become the man in the lineup that if you're the opposing team, you've got to stop. Jeter off second base. Adam Eaton already up to 21 pitches thrown here in the first inning. Got him to hit one off the end of the bat. It'll be handled by Hughes. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left on base. Orioles lineup coming up. We go to the bottom half of the first inning. 81 degrees at game time here at Camden Yards. Take a look at the starting lineup brought to you by Southwest Airlines. It'll be Roberts, Jones, and Markakis, Huff, Mora, and Scott. Montañez, Zahn, and Izturis. Nick Markakis leading the O's in hits, RBIs, and runs.
And our PNC scouting report on Phil Hughes out of Santa Ana, California. Well, he loves to pitch on the road this year. Great game against the Tigers in Detroit. Then 5-4 lifetime. He's out of the cutter. Gives him another pitch. Fastball, curveball, slider, changeup. Pretty good changeup. And again, this has been their #1 pitching prospect. Got to the big leagues at age 20. Actually pitched pretty well. Was 5-4 last year. Ian Kennedy and Phil Hughes. They got 17 starts. They were 0-8 between them.
22 years old, so the hope is the progress will be made. Brian Roberts will lead it off against the right-hander, and Roberts will take it for a strike. Brian in the ball game last night came away with a couple of singles, 2 for 3, and a walk. He is hitting at .303 now. Even put a little shift on Roberts here as they move Jeter over to second and A-Rod way over towards the shortstop position, especially now with the 2-strike count. Yankees added Brett Tomko today. They're making a move a day. So Tomko came up and joined the staff for bullpen use, as Joe Girardi's bullpen has been a mess. And they're trying to find some arms.
He was pitching very well down at their AAA affiliate down in Scranton. Of course, he's been around, veteran major league pitcher. And once did the Oriole cruise, and along with the Padres, we went hiking in Kauai together.
Fine place to hike.
Yeah, very, very fun.
1-2 delivery on the way. Roberts will foul that one back, and the count will stay at a ball and 2 strikes. 3-game set, middle game here, and then tomorrow afternoon these two teams will match up again. Orioles took the first series, trying to get this one. And Dave Tremblay's ball club then would have a chance to get another series win. Here's the 1-2 delivery from Hughes. Roberts to first. Right into the glove of Teixeira. One away.
Yeah, you don't want to hit it to the Gold Glover. Let's take a look at the defense for the Yankees behind Phil Hughes. Damon, Cabrera, and Swisher. Rodriguez, Jeter, Cano, and Teixeira, who has won a Gold Glove. Francisco Cervelli, right up from the minor leagues. Posada with a hamstring problem. Molina on the DL, also with a quad problem, so they went to the minor leagues. Kevin Cash, their backup catcher.
That'll bring up Adam Jones, 1 for 4 in the ballgame last night, hitting at .342, 5 homers and 19 RBIs. And that'll be fouled back. Adam really saw some pitches in the ballgame last night. An unhittable slider that CC Sabathia was throwing that he kept coming in towards the back foot of Adam with. Oriole players all said today that Sabathia was just rocking. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Breaking ball will be taken inside, and a 1-1 strike count.
Well, after Mariano Rivera gave up home runs, 2 of them in 1 inning for the first time in his career. That's a long career, Hall of Fame career. They needed somebody to go the distance. 112 pitches last night for CC.
Down to third. That is a fair ball. He'll head to second base. Johnny Damon over to get it in the corner. Jones is in. He's got a double with 1 away here in the first inning.
Well, the Orioles got a couple of hits yesterday in the first inning, and then took them all the way to the 8th inning till they got anybody on. Here's just a curveball. It's going to stay in. There's your Expo. Bat head to the ball. And boy, what a great angle. See how hard that ball's hit. See how he centered the baseball on the bat head. Gary Crowley, as most hitting instructors, he works for the Orioles, basically says it's the path of the bat to the ball. And you saw a great illustration of that.
So the Orioles get a chance to get on the board here. Here is Nick Markakis, their leading RBI man. 29 for Marakis coming into the ball game. Hughes gets the strike on the outside corner. Nick is 9th in average, 4th in runs batted in, tied for 1st in runs in the league. Certainly worthy of consideration on the All-Star ballot are Nick Markakis, Adam Jones. That's where they rank among the outfielders in the American League, because when you vote on the All-Star ballot, all the outfielders are put together in one group. So they are up there among the leaders in the offensive categories. Here's the 0-1 delivery. Marakis will take it away, and a 1-1 strike count. This is the inning, of course, where the Orioles have made hay all season. First inning has been their best offensively, and none better at getting it done in the first than Nick Markakis. A .407 batting average in the first inning, 3 home runs and 12 first inning RBIs. 1-1 delivery. That one will be looped to short. Jeter. He's got it. Had the angle. 2 down.
Well, Nick Markakis always talks about and Mr. Jeter having a nice time. Nice pitch right there by Phil Hughes. He said, I don't understand why they don't pitch me more up and in. Well, that's what Phil Hughes did. And again, he's throwing 93 to 94. Perfect pitch.
So that'll leave it up to Aubrey Huff. Try and get the 2-out RBI. Aubrey hitting at .267 to start this ball game. Jones loosening up to make a charge here as he'll be off and running on contact. Aubrey's got 25 RBIs himself, and the pitch is taken away.
What's that, 9th in the league, I believe, somewhere in that range. But what the Orioles have done so well as a team, and with a couple of exceptions, is just hit with runners in scoring position. They get the job done. They're hitting 51 points higher than the Yankees coming into this game.
Orioles .295 with runners in scoring position, second best in the American League. 1-0 count on Huff, and a floater that almost got away from Hughes. Cervelli goes up to get it, and it is a 2-0 count. Well, the Yankees could not say enough about that 23-year-old catcher. He had made only one other start, appeared in only one other game this year, 3 games last year with the Yankees. He was just, according to CC Sabathia, in the game. Sabathia said, I was in the windup taking a sign. That's how comfortable I was with him. That's going to get away. Runner's got to stay, though. Jones did not get the initial jump off second base.
Yeah, I think this is a little bit of a pitch around. I'm not saying it's the wisest thing to do. We saw what happens when the Yankees score 3 runs. But again, Aubrey Huff with 80 stolen extra base hits last year. That led once again. I mean, Bill Hughes, a big guy at 6'5", over 240 pounds. And of course, the key is to get over your front side, which he does, even though the ball goes high. So with more on deck, this might be a pitch around, but that could get you in trouble.
And he walked it. Primary reason for that is that the left-handers are hitting .357 off Hughes and the right-handers .167.
But Gary, you've been around the game long enough to know that a lot of times, last night the Yankees got they really got the bonus prize, a 3-run home run, but all you have to do is dump a single down the right field line. We see, Jeter's already done it in this game, and then all of a sudden Luke Scott comes into play, and maybe you got yourself a big inning going.
Well, Melvin Mora, who last year was the best of the Orioles with runners in scoring position, will get a shot at it right here. Jones on at second base, who had a double. Huff is on at first with a walk. With 2 down, they both take off on contact, and the Orioles try to get on the board in the bottom of the first inning. And Mora inside outs that one to right field, not deep. Second base. Cano's got the angle, and that will do it. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 2 are left on base after 1 no score. To enter by logging in MASNsports.com. Hideki Matsui, the designated hitter, will lead it off. A 3-game hit streak extended last night as Matsui had a 1 for 4. Eaton's pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Matsui got off to a slow start, but has really picked the pace up of late, hitting over 340 in the last 17. Marakis is in front of that one. He's got it. Let's check in with Mark Viviano. Mark.
Hey guys, Nick Swisher coming up to bat for the Yankees. Last night here at the ballpark, he was the victim of an unusual out at third base as he was contacted by third base coach Rob Thompson. You can see the shove by the third base coach and umpire Tim Tashida right there to make the call. Flashback to April 24th here at the ballpark. The Orioles' Greg Zahn rounds third. Juan Samuel coaching third. There's contact, but Samuel kept his hands down. Notice how Zahn made contact. Samuel did not. Juan said he did that on purpose. It's your instinct to want to reach out, but it's your duty to keep your hands down, and that avoided an out call. Back to you guys.
Exactly right. And Samuel was scared stiff that there was going to be an interference call on that particular play.
Yeah, I'm not really sure the umpire was watching. Tim Tashida a little bit different last night.
And it was interesting that the play last night, it wasn't that the coach, Robbie Thompson, pushed the runner. It's the runner use the coach to push himself back to the bag, and you can't do that. So even though the coach may have just stood there, player can't use him as leverage. That's a long strike.
Well, what, Swisher's got home runs in 6 of the last 13 games, or hit 5 in 2007. He loves Camden Yards. Even though last year he did hurt his hamstring coming around third base, slipped.
He's only a .250 career hitter here, but he has 9 lifetime home runs in this ballpark. Off-speed pitch. Eaton just missed outside with it. And the count will go to 2 balls and 2 strikes on the man who keeps any locker room alive 24 hours a day.
And he can play. I mean, he can play all over. He can play the outfield. He can play first base. You know, you got the sheriff to do that this year.
Inside and missed with it. 3-2.
See, that's what happened in Adam Eaton's start down in Tampa. Won 5 innings, 97 pitches. Didn't walk a lot of guys. Only 2 in those 5 innings. 4 runs, a couple of strikeouts, but just off the edges. He calls them pitcher's pitches, but they're not umpire's pitches, and that's why the pitch count gets as high as it does.
3-2 delivery on the way, and it's inside. So a walk with 1 away. First one surrendered by Eaton. Those really hurt the Orioles last night, as there weren't a whole lot of them, but all of them scored. 3 walks, 2 by Guthrie, 1 by McCrory, and all of them came across, all 3. So the Orioles now in the walks surrendered department continue in the top 5 of the percentage of those that scored. 93 walks, 31 of them have crossed the plate. A dead even 1 out of 3. On at first base, 1 away, and Robinson Cano. He had a good ball game last night as he ended up going 2 for 4. And he'll take the pitch outside for a ball.
Okay, the difference is you hit the outside corner, you're ahead. You missed by 2 inches, and he did it all ball game down in Tampa. It just keeps mounting. Of course, Cano can turn on balls. He's looking to hit a ball right into this slot right here and use the advantage of the first baseman holding a runner on.
1-0 delivery to him, and Cano fouls it off. He's sitting at .325 on the season. A much better road number so far. .388 on the road for Cano compared to only .250 at home. And that road batting average is good enough to be 4th best in the American League in a player's home ballpark. Away, rather. Though Eaton's got to battle a guy who doesn't mind getting away from the new Yankee Stadium. Here's the 1-1 delivery to him. Ground ball, Taylor made. As Torres 1, relay 2. No runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left on base. Luke Scott, designated hitter, will be leading it off when we come back. Great to have you with us, and a fine night to be at the ballpark. As the Yankees and the Orioles battle here, you see very little breeze on this warm evening. And no scores. Luke Scott will stand in. He is DHing. A couple of hits and 3 at-bats off Hughes. Yankee right-hander, 22 years old. Scott first ball hitting towards the middle. Cano can't get it, and a base hit. Scott is on, leading off the second.
Well, they came in 290 against right-handed pitching, 250 against lefties, which is about 35 points higher than last year. Already 2 home runs against lefties, 3 against right-handers. So right here, good sinker, bad result. He chases a ball that's down. Normally when you throw a 2-seamer, you're pretty happy when a power hitter puts the ball in play like that. But Luke's even happier because he finds it's home out in center field.
The Orioles only had 4 hits last night against CC Sabathia. That matched a low that they'd also had against Tampa Bay on the 5th. They're trying to pump that up. 2 hits so far in the ball game. Philip Hughes. Montañez starting in left field. He'll rifle that one foul down the line. Lou started in left field last night. Had an 0 for 3 in the ball game. Just starting to get at bats now with 30. 5 for 30, couple of walks, 3 RBIs.
And you can see that 1 for 7 in the homestand, but that one won the game the other night against the Twins. Yeah, Orioles really, 25 hits in the last 4 games. Of course, there was a rain delay in there, so good pitching will stop good hitting. And we saw that with Garza. That's the game down in Tampa Bay. He started that game and went in and pitched into the 9th inning.
Some pretty good pitching last night. There were 4 shutouts last night pitched in the majors. That's the first time that's happened since 1973 that there have been 4 shutouts in the same day. Verlander got one with Detroit. Matt Harrison got one with Texas. Those were the complete game winners along with Sabathia. Montañez, the 0-2 delivery. That one again is going to be fouled back. It stays at 2 strikes.
Well, Matt Harrison has turned his season around ever since the Orioles let him off the hook early. When the Rangers came into town, they lead the American League West at the moment.
Who would have thought that at any point?
And they're pitching. I mean, Nolan Ryan trying to get his guys to be better conditioned, and of course not only the shutout but obviously a complete game for a young left-hander who has great stuff.
They lead the Angels by a game and a half in Seattle as well. Taken outside, good play. Cervelli going out to get it and hung on to it. There you see a final in the afternoon game. Tampa Bay rocked Boston 14-5 as Evan Longoria picked up his 11th home run in that ball game. So those teams have split the first 2 games of that set. Longoria, believe it or not, does not lead the league in home runs. Carlos Pena, his teammate, does with 13.
I was watching a little of the game last night because we wish Jerry Remy well, who's not their analyst for the Red Sox. Dennis Eckersley taking his place. So Eck doing usually the like Rick Dempsey, pre-game, post-game, but Don Orsillo's got Dennis to start talking about uniforms, and Brad Penny, who's a big guy, about 260, 270, has his real high socks. Eck said he makes his body look even bigger. He looks like a tuna out there. I'll tell you. So I talked to Dennis today. I said, we'll never know.
That's going to be a base hit. Scott will stop at second base. You talk about a ball with English on it. Montañez got that one in there, and the Orioles have the first 2 on here in the 2nd inning. Hey, it's Mother's Day tomorrow. Don't all run out now down to the corner drugstore. Hang on a minute. Mother's Day can be celebrated right here. 1:35 Orioles Yankees. The first 10,000 women 18 and over are going to get an Orioles picture frame presented by AT&T. So Cub, create some memories. You, Mom, and the Orioles. 888-848-BIRD, Orioles.com. That's all those husbands who said tomorrow and headed for the door.
You got it.
So have you ever called a pitcher
no, a big tuna? No, looks like a big tuna.
Greg's on, playing for a bunt. Didn't show bunt there.
Well, Orsillo was having a great time because he couldn't keep it together. Eck was saying you got to look good. In other words, you have to have a tapered uniform and whatever. And with Brad Penny, for 1 for the 4th time out of 6 decision, he doesn't care.
Leno delivery on the ways on, swinging away, and that goes by Teixeira. Luke Scott will score. Swisher up. Throw coming into the plate to nobody, and nobody saw it. Another run will score. Scott and Montañez both. Oh, I take that back. Scott had stopped.
Well, he
Scott
has.
scores, and the lone run in and a 1-0 lead.
I mean, right here, anytime, and I don't know why Teixeira, I guess he's looking for a bunt playing in. Watch this, Boone. I mean, that's a rainbow, and Hughes doesn't see it.
I thought Luke Scott had already come all the way around, but he stopped.
I thought it was the second run, too, and right here, I mean, it's lucky he scored.
And he's lucky there wasn't a play at third because Montañez was right on his tail. Montañez was already down there at third base.
I mean, Hughes was back there. He just wasn't watching.
So it is a 1-0 lead. Runners at second and third. Oh, still nobody out. I believe we'll credit Zahn with, well, I don't know. I mean, the runner had stopped. I don't know if they'll give him an RBI, if that's going to be on the air or on the throw by Swisher. Because if that ball is caught anywhere near the plate, the runner's not coming. Is Torres up, fouls that one back into the screen, and a 2-strike count. Is Torres coming into the ball game with a 4-game hit streak. He has added just what Dave Tremblay had been talking about at the bottom of the order, and that's some offensive production. 4 for 11 during the streak, a double and 2 RBIs.
Yeah, didn't play the whole preseason because of the World Baseball Classic, but it started slowly and coming on. Of course, they got him for his ability to steal bases. And his defense.
Ooh, and that one hits him. Not even close by Hughes.
Well, you are getting a pretty good idea why it's difficult for young players. Dave Island's going to come out, the pitching coach, to be able to maintain their composures. I mean, 3 base hits, none of them hit hard. He gets ahead of his Torres. He's looking for a strikeout, and then they try to come in, and not too many young pitchers, and you can see right off the backside, can command their fastballs on the inside part of the plate. You just don't do it often enough.
Hit him right in the old wallet. If he'd had it in his pocket. So they are going to call that run scoring on the error. There is no RBI credited to Zahn. Error on the throw by Swisher. The bases are now loaded for Brian Roberts, and nobody out. Infield will stay back. Trying to get a double play here. They'll give up the run. Roberts will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. I too, as Jim said, surprised on that hit by Zahn that the infield was in at first and third looking for a bunt.
Yeah, and that's the only reason Teixeira would be playing even with the bag, and that's why he doesn't catch that ball.
So the defensive positioning made a big difference. Brian Roberts will foul it away.
And I am sure that Dave Island came out and said something positive, and basically, as you look at the bases loaded with birds, he must have come out and said, hey, listen, I haven't hit a ball hard. Now, maybe you should have backed up and actually watched the throw from Swisher. That could have helped. But again, it's not about stuff. It's just about the Orioles taking advantage of some misplays by the Yankees and well-placed baseball.
Roberts 1 for 1 with the bases loaded this year. A single. Takes that one to right field. Swisher will back up. Tagging up is Montañez. He'll come to the plate. Throw coming into second base. That'll be an RBI sac fly for Roberts. The Orioles get a 2-0 lead, and Zahn moves over to third base.
Really productive out. Sacrifice fly. You move the runner over. Stay out of the double play. Not that Brian hits into him very often. And there's your curveball. Boy, you can see from the Exmo, you can see him getting on top of the curveball, but it stays up enough for Brian, who's trying to get the ball in the air, to lift it to right.
So the Orioles still with a chance at a very big inning here. Runners at first and third, only one away. Adam Jones doubled his first time up. Orioles now with 2 runs on 4 hits, so the Orioles already have equaled the number of hits they had in 9 innings last night. They've done it in an inning and a third here tonight. Jones will foul it straight back into the screen.
Well, there's your 3-run home run swing. Cutter, slider, whatever. It's hard to tell the difference, but it hung in the middle of the plate, and boy, did he attack it.
He wanted that one.
Oh, yeah.
318 with runners in scoring position for Jones, so he's accumulated 19.
And we've seen from Adam Jones this year that he can drive the ball to right center and hit it as well as a left-handed pull hitter. Tremendous power the other way.
Runners off first and third, and the look over and look back.
I'm proud to say in almost 4,000 innings I never tried that. Even though it does work.
I'm gonna get you a medal for that one. I'm serious.
But it does work every once in a while.
0-1 count. The trouble is, I've actually seen it work once. Have you ever seen it work?
I saw it work with Alan Wiggins, who had come over from San Diego.
Because of that, it will continue.
Well, Steve Busby, I believe Steve Busby pitched for Kansas City, and he was a terrific pitcher. He started it. And basically what it is, you're not trying to pick the guy off the third. You're just hoping that when you fake the third, that the runner at first will take an extra step or two, and you just wheel over there and maybe get out of a big jam.
Yep. 0-2 delivery. Jones, speaking of jam, will foul it away. It'll stay at 0-2. Orioles with 2 runs in, 1 error charge. The big one to Swisher on the throw from right that allowed the first run to score. Zahn credited with a single, took second on the error, so the hits singles by Scott, Montañez, and Zahn. The sac fly, though, is the only RBI credited so far in the inning. 0-2 count. And the back standing is Torres. He might actually have been moving. It looked like he started.
Well, that's a luxury. I don't know he's going to be running 0-2, but he does put a lot of pressure. I mean, Cervelli was 7 out of 14 down at AAA Scranton. He is their best defensive catcher. Who's prospect now, no longer a prospect, not even a suspect now that he's in the big league.
There he goes, and it gets away, and another run will score, and all the way over to third base goes his Torres. And the Yankees coming unglued as the ball bounces away to Jeter. And a 3-0 lead.
I mean, this is an inning where the Orioles have yet to hit a ball hard, and they lead at 3-0. You back up home, but you don't watch the throw from the right fielder right there. I don't know if they'll call that a wild pitch pass ball. It looks like it should have been caught. His Torres is running, and that puts pressure on Cervelli behind the plate. Heads up base running right there. They stole 24 last year. He not only brings a contact type of attack at the plate, and he can pick it at shortstop, but he can run the bases.
We'll wait for the call on that. Infield now has to be drawn in. They will charge a wild pitch and a stolen base, allowing his Torres to go to second and then to third on the wild pitch. 1-2 delivery. Jones, he's got a base hit. That will score his Torres. He's on his way to second. Throw by Johnny Damon, not in time. He now has 2 doubles in the game, gets the RBI, and a 4-0 O's lead.
We saw it a little bit last night when A-Rod hit the 3-run home run off of Jeremy Guthrie. Watch the bat head get to the ball. Now that is a good pitch up and in. It's exactly where Phil Hughes wanted to go. Now that's not a mistake. That's just a good young hitter who's going to be a star, making a great swing. Here we go. Bat head to the ball. Now almost identical doubles for Adam Jones, but one on a curveball, but this was a fastball at 94. And he just got the bat head out in front. Very, very short swing.
20 RBIs for Jones. Nick Marakis. Orioles 4 runs in on 5 hits. The runs have scored on an error, a wild pitch, a sac fly by Roberts, and an RBI double by Jones. Now Marakis. Nick popped out his first time up. 4 hits, 9 at bats off Hughes. And Marakis will take it inside, and Hughes has got to try and regroup here and hold it. Get out of this inning without surrendering any more.
Well, it's not going to be easy with Nick. I mean, Nick comes in hitting over 400 runners in scoring position, and Huff right behind him at 387.
Middle of the order up here with only 1 away. Marakis to first. Teixeira has it go off his glove to the delight of the Oriole fans. Backed up by Cano. And Marakis is on, and we'll wait on the call on that one.
Well, if this is not a base hit, I don't know what's going on with the score. I mean, this is a sinking line drive, the first really hard hit ball by the Orioles in this inning. I mean, a little top spin right there, and Teixeira, who did win a Gold Glove, tries to flag it down. There we go. Look at that high hop. Not routine by any stretch of the imagination.
Base hit for Marakis, puts runners on at first and third. Teixeira did save a run, at least for the moment, by knocking that ball down. Otherwise, Jones was in easily. Here is Aubrey Huff. Huff first ball hitting. Aubrey drew a walk his first time up. He is the 8th batter up in the inning for the Orioles.
Well, they're looking for the double play ball. Aubrey's trying for base hit, maybe get a ball with only one out and up in the air, sacrifice fly to make it 5-0. But Nick Marakis right over here, the ability to break up the double play. What kind of primary and secondary lead do you get, even though you may not be stealing a base?
0-1 delivery, a floater that is in there for a strike, and the count goes to 0-2. Aubrey Huff has moved his numbers up with runners in scoring position. He is starting the day at least 10th in that department. Aubrey, as a result, also putting the RBIs up on the board with 25. 0-2 count to him. Runners off first and third, and he'll foul that one the other way. Orioles getting players to help pick one another up. Melvin Mora, when he came back, a couple of hot games, tailed off a little. Aubrey Huff had started strong. Now he's picked it back up again. Brian Roberts just tailed a little. He's started the bat coming back again. And that's what you want to see in the course of a year. Yeah, nobody's going to hit it well all year.
And then you got Johnny at the end of the lineup. 3 hits the other night.
And he lifts that one to right field. It is way back. Goodbye. Home run, Aubrey Huff. A 3 RBI shot.
So finally, the Orioles tattoo one. Watch this curveball sail out of here. Ends up in the middle of the plate. Nice swing by Aubrey Huff. Went down and got it. It's a matter if it's going to get over that SK sign out in right center field. And it does.
That will clean the bases. Aubrey Huff blasting it. Now has 28 RBIs and 5 homers. Melvin Mora takes the pitch up high for a ball. And the Orioles have put up 7 runs on 7 hits. All 7 runs in this inning.
Oh, the magical haircut.
And it started with little balls falling in and not going anywhere. It has come to some real shots. And the Yankee bullpen, which the Orioles want to get to as quickly as possible, is heating up. Hughes has surrendered only a couple of home runs in the previous 2 starts. Breaking ball that didn't comes inside to Mora. The Orioles have now batted around, and there's still only 1 down.
Well, you go back, Gary, and what you talked about, a couple of well-placed ground balls, and then all of a sudden the 22-year-old starter, that's what Philip Hughes is, has a little bit more confidence. But it's got to be shaken now. Even though they've only hit a couple balls hard. 7 runs.
Melvin Mora had a reach for that. Shallow left field. Damon. He's got it. Mora is retired, and there are 2 down. Orioles have equaled their season high in runs in an inning with the 7 put up here in the second. Then they will start back around again as Luke Scott, the designated hitter, kicked this inning off with a single.
And it all started on him swinging at the first pitch and hitting a ground ball up the middle. It looked like a pretty good sinker, maybe a little bit in the middle of the plate. He just chased it, hit it into center field, and the Orioles were off and running.
So Philip Hughes, by far his roughest outing of the 3 that he's had since being called up to move into that rotation for the Yankees. Came in with a 2.70 ERA and opponents hitting .237 off him, the opponents being Detroit and Boston. Luke Scott. 1-0 delivery to him outside, and it is 2-0.
I was watching a little bit of the Washington Nationals game the other night, and they have a young right-hander, also a rookie, in Jordan Zimmerman. He gave up 6 in the first inning. And the Nationals, because he pitched well, came back and won that game 11-9.
That goes off the glove of Hughes, and there'll be no play for Cano. That will be an infield hit. So 2 hits in the inning for Luke Scott of varying varieties that didn't have to go very far.
Well, he came over before the game and shook his manager's hand, Dave Tremblay. Said, "Skipper, how are you?" And I said, "Luke, how are you?" And Dave said, "Well, he's happy because he's playing. And he's happy now because he's got 2 hits in the second inning."
I asked Luke about the DH role that he not reluctantly takes. He'd rather be in the outfield. And I asked him if he had a system down now for the daily routine when he DHs. He said, "I do." So I finally figured out what I'm going to do. He spends a lot of time skipping rope. He hits off the tee. He will go back and do a little running, stretching. So he's got a routine now to keep himself in a ball game when he's DHing. Scott on at first base and 2 down. Montanez in the inning picked up a single and scored. Yankees have committed 1 error, but all the runs here are going to be earned as a result of what happened after that error. 1-0 pitch. Check swing inside. Hughes falls behind. 2-0. It is his 24th career start, his 4th against the Orioles. 1 win and 1 loss for Hughes against Baltimore, and this one the toughest. 2-0, and he goes 3-0.
His command is toast now. And again, I read about that cutter. He pitched very well in his first start. Everybody raved about it because he did pitch 6 innings, shut out the Tigers in Detroit. You got to rave about something like that. They have a pretty good hitting team. But again, the cutter, if you're a fastball pitcher, it's a very good pitch, but it's very difficult to throw when you're young because you don't command your other pitches well enough. And we've seen that tonight as Joe Girardi's going to come out and make a change. He didn't want it. He wanted Hughes to get him into the 5th or 6th inning.
He does not want to go to his bullpen. It, in all likelihood, will be much overused as a result of this because Hughes is coming out of there having worked just an inning and 2/3. The Orioles so far have 7 runs on 8 hits off him. Theirs will come out of the bullpen. Orioles lead it. Ramirez out of the Dominican Republic, out of the bullpen.
Yeah, so good last year, and then you look at his numbers this year. He comes in, his ERA is not that bad at 4.63. But again, when you start looking, most of the times he comes in with runners on base. But 11 1/3 innings, 15 hits. Actually make it 13 hits with 11 walks. But he is a strikeout guy. So again, too many walks, and when you do that, they usually end up coming around. And Phil Hughes, tough night. Didn't get hit hard, and then all of a sudden did.
Ramirez, the 28-year-old, trying to get this inning concluded. 2 on, 2 down, and 7 runs in. Greg Zahn will take a breaking ball for a strike. Zahn delivered a single and scored a run in this inning. And the Orioles pounding away on Hughes. Will not try and do the same on Ramirez. Scott's at second. Montanez on at first base. 0-1 pitch. Another slider that will miss down low. 1 ball and 1 strike.
Well, Edward has one of the better changeups. At least he did last year in the American League. And there's Lou Montanez. But you go back to defending Greg Zahn against the bunt when he came up with runners at first and second and nobody out. You play in at first base, and he was able to hit it by Teixeira.
That one hit hard towards the scoreboard. That's going to take a hop off the wall. Played nicely by Swisher. 1 run will score. It'll be a single and an RBI for Zahn, and an 8-0 Orioles lead.
The Red Sox scored 12 runs without making an out against Cleveland up in Fenway Park. Now the Orioles have made some outs, but they're only 4 runs away from putting 12 on the board here in the second. There is Zahn. He said, I got lucky a couple of nights ago. A couple infield hits, not hit hard. That one is smoked off the wall. Only a single, though, a long one.
That'll be RBI number 3 for Zahn. He's got 2 hits in the inning. Scott, Montanez, and Zahn all have gotten on base twice here in this second inning. As Turris was hit by a pitch, ended up with a stolen base before he came around to score. First and third now with 2 down. Ramirez, Derek Jeter, force out at second base, and will get it there in time. But the Orioles put up 8. They knock Philip Hughes out of the box. The big blow, Aubrey Huff, his 5th home run, 3 RBIs. Orioles 8, Yankees nothing.
Even want to know how he saw these Yankee batters. So far, so good. Eaton has to do his own homework. Now back up to Gary and Jim.
Boy, that homework can be lightened load-wise. When you got an 8-0 lead, you can maybe throw a few more strikes. Cabrera will lead it off here. A long sit-down for Adam Eaton, waiting for the Orioles in that 8-run, 8-hit second inning.
Well, the advantage was, though, Greg Zahn was on base, so you had a chance to take a couple of extra warm-up tosses because Chad Muller came out to warm him up, and he did. But he nibbles. He is a nibbler. Let's see if he nibbles with an 8-run lead.
Foul back. 13 batters came to the plate in the inning for the Orioles. Cabrera takes the count to 2-2. Switch hitter out of 2 for 4 in the ball game last night. Getting his first at bat here.
Well, he had a great spring, and then take advantage of having an opportunity. The Xavier Nady He's on the DL with the elbow problem on his throwing arm. He hopefully will be back in what, a month to 5 weeks.
3-2 delivery on the way to Cabrera, and he will fight that one off, and it will stay at 3-2. The Yankees have given up more runs in an inning this year than 8. In fact, a lot more. Cleveland got 13 runs off them in an inning in a game in April. That is the high and may stay that way for the year. 14 runs popped up, and Melvin Mora over and makes the catch. That one stayed right in front of the railing by the Yankee dugout.
Well, the wind, it's always hard to tell here at Camden Yards which way it's blowing. I mean, the flags are blowing from left to right field, so maybe with the swirling winds it blows it back. But Melvin makes a nice. He's looking at it all the way, and right there, it didn't appear that he knew where the railing was. He just came right in, never lost track of it, and then kind of tiptoed his way for out number 1.
Good play. That's why you stay with him. 1 down. Cervelli, the catcher, up. He will take it for a strike. Cervelli already on the roster, so when they called him up, they at least did not have to expand the roster. Melvin Mora! Oh, mercy. Cervelli's retired, and a tip of the cap to third.
Yeah, Melvin not hitting the way he wants, but kind of leaves the bat in the dugout and then throws the leather. What a nice play. Going to be a double to his right, our left, and I'll tell you what a play. 2 in a row. Nice ones.
Wow. Melvin Mora inning here in the third.
We would always sit in the dugout and go, nice pitch, Adam. The line drive that somebody snares. The Adam ball. Well, that wasn't really Adam, but got the job done.
Good play. That was the play that Aramis Ramirez dislocated his shoulder on last night for the Chicago Cubs, making that play, diving just like that, landed on his shoulder. He's going to be lost to them for 4 to 6 weeks. I mention that because Ryan Friel, of course, was traded to the Cubs on the same day that happened. Friel is not playing third base in the game tonight. Chicago's on the road, but the Chicago newspaper saying today that Friel was likely to get a lot of playing time while Ramirez was out. So fortuitous for Friel. Not that's the way that he wants to get playing time, but that's what's happened. Jeter with 2 down, nobody on, and a 2-ball 1-strike count.
Yeah, he was pretty honest about the difference of playing as a utility guy in the American League and the National League. Much more opportunities over there because of the lack of the DH.
Jeter singled his first time up and will take the pitch outside. Dave Tremblay was saying today about Ryan Friel that it ended up just not being fair. He said it wasn't fair to Friel, who came over believing he was going to be the backup utility, and once Andino was picked up late in spring training, Friel lost that role. And he said it wasn't fair to the club to have somebody hanging around who needed to play and wasn't going to get in.
And when he did play, wasn't playing well, whether it was this spring or when the season started. Just not used to playing in that capacity. And it's difficult. We can talk about utility guys, but I think you have to differentiate between the American League and the National League because it's such a different type of style of play.
Most utility players in the American League end up being defensive replacements and pinch runners. And Jeter draws the walk with 2 down here in the third inning. And tonight's leaderboard presented by Firestone, a tradition of innovation. Take a look at the most runners thrown out. Jorge Posada is injured at the top. Suzuki, Barajas with Toronto, Navarro with Tampa Bay, and Greg Zahn, who has joined that list in getting base stealers. This day and age, if you're up around 30%, you're in pretty good shape. That is a hard foul ball by Johnny Damon. 1 on, 2 down, third inning. Naming a strikeout victim. His first time up. Melvin Mora coming over to have a word with Adam Eaton.
Yeah, it used to be that it seemed like, Gary, that it would be about 28 to 30%, and the number actually has dropped. Even though this year, and maybe because they've done the testing and home runs not down for some hitters, but down across the board, there are teams stealing more.
Yep. Running more.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
And that I say that in the context of there are more attempts being made now than there were before.
Now, everybody talks about the slide step. It's just very difficult. But again, he had timed the pitcher at his release point. The catcher, good throwing catchers are 2.1 to about 1.9, and if the pitcher gets to the ball to home plate and under 1.3, you got a chance to throw him out. But that's even an average runner. So the guys like Carl Crawford or Ellsbury or the Red Sox and respectfully Tampa Bay, they take advantage of it. Even if you get it to home plate at 1.1 and the catcher comes up and gets it down there in 1.9, you're not going to catch it. And they realize that, so they take advantage of it.
Yep. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Johnny Damon waiting on it. That will miss. And the count will go to 2-2 on Damon. Jeter on at first base. Damon, the iron horse of baseball right now, at least 140 games in 13 major league seasons. He has been physically a very fit player. 2-2 delivery, shattered bat. The barrel went right by Eaton. The play is made by Roberts to get Damon. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 1 left on base. Eaton went down as that barrel went flying by. Orioles have an 8-0 lead. What pitchers want to do after the team gives you a lead, Jim, go out and get them out.
Well, he did, but he still walked somebody. I really don't think that Adams going to change his style. You know what? If it works for him, fine. It's worked in 1 of the 5 starts tonight. Tell you, huge cushion. And I guess that says, 25 hits for the Orioles in the last 4 games? That's by the wayside.
That's gone.
Yeah. Exactly.
Ryan Roberts leading it off here. The Oriole bats, everybody in baseball is talking about and wants to know about this Oriole offense because it really has put up some really solid numbers.
Well, we all know that Brian Roberts can hit. We know that Huff, with 82 extra base hits, led the American League.
What a play by Cano to get Roberts.
But I think what happens is now all of a sudden you take a young player. I mean, you trade Eric Bedard, who's one of the marvelous left-handed pitcher, to Seattle. You get your closer, and you get Adam Jones. And Adam Jones, to me, you know, his hitting instructor says he reminds you of George Hendricks. To me, he looks like Don Baylor, and Don Baylor ended up being a most valuable player. The one thing Adam can do, even though Baylor did steal over 50 bases, I don't know if Adam's ever going to do that, but he can play center field with the best of them. So they got a guy that's going to be in their starting lineup for the next 6 years, hopefully more. And I'll tell you what, that's why they're so good, because you have a guy that's, and not how many guys at 23 want to hit second.
And it doesn't matter. He genuinely just wants to play the game, and whatever position you put him in, he will ask and learn about what he's supposed to do there, and then has the ability to execute.
We always talk about coaches, and the Orioles are very lucky to have Juan Samuel and T-Bone Shelby, who really kind of taken him under the wing. And I told him, I said, have you ever met Frank Robinson? He said, no. I said, he'd toughen you up because he's really a nice guy. I mean, there's Juan Samuel, but Adam Jones, I mean, I tell you what, he's maturing and he's getting an opportunity to do it here at the big league level. It's not easy, but I tell you what, he worked hard in the offseason, went out to the Athletes Performance, did what Brian Roberts did with last year's MVP, Dustin Pedroia. He's a pretty special player.
A-Rod will come up with that and get the out, and there are a couple away. Now what the Orioles need to find, of course, get a win out of a starting pitcher. It hasn't happened since April 14. This is the best shot they've had since then to do that.
Well, you would think so. And,
yes.
You know, I know Rick Kranitz, who is a pitching coach, and Dave Tremblay, they'd like to hand the ball to the bullpen in the 7th inning. Hopefully that'll happen.
There's Adam Eaton, who's got a real shot at getting that W here tonight with the lead that he has been given in this game. 2 down and nobody on. Nick Marakis. Edouard Ramirez out of the bullpen for the Yankees. And the pitch is outside. Marakis has delivered a single. He has scored a run in the ball game. We're in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And now for the hitters, sometimes what becomes tough here is not giving up an at bat. You got a big lead. You kind of relax a little bit going up to the plate, and this is when you really learn the trade. Marakis, Jones, Huff, these are when you take advantage of it. You may see more strikes in these situations. That one to right field. Did he get enough? It is way back, and goodbye, home run. He didn't give that one up. Nick Marakis, number 6.
Well, we told you about Edouard Ramirez. Terrific changeup, but not against Nick Marakis. He leaves it up, and the rest is history. 9-0. So for Nick, home run number 6. And right there, it doesn't appear to be that bad a pitch. He just goes out and gets it. And again, you speed up the bat. That pitch, instead of his fastball in the upper 90s, in the middle 70s, and Orioles get their 9th run.
Marakis putting it out with 2 down. Here's Aubrey Huff, who's delivered the other home run for the Orioles in the ball game, as he got a 3 RBI homer, his 5th of the year, that came in the 2nd inning. Ramirez with a 1-0 delivery. These 2 pitching staffs have surrendered more home runs than any other teams in the American League. For the Yankees now, they are up to 41 home runs allowed, while they are tied for the league lead in home runs hit with 42, tied with Texas. So they're matching each one hit with 1 surrendered.
Well, they came in 11th in starting pitching. I think that's a big surprise, even though Wong's been injured with a hip problem.
Aubrey Huff in the air to right center. Center fielder Cabrera. He's back and he's got it. So Nick Marakis delivers his 2nd hit of the ball game. He's already 2 for 3. This time it was his 6th home run of the year.
All-you-can-eat hot dogs, nachos, peanuts, popcorn, sodas, ice cream, and more. And new to this season's menu, the garden salads, perfect for group outings, hungry families, a new twist on a day or night with friends at Oriole Park. For more details on the Left Field Club Picnic Perch, call 888-848-BIRD or visit Orioles.com. Now back to Gary and Jim.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And here is another Mark, Teixeira. Teixeira popped out his first time up. He's had an 0 for 4 so far in the series. Teixeira is a .261 lifetime hitter here at Camden Yards. He's had 4 home runs in this ballpark. Struggle continues with a .190 average now. 5 homers, 15 RBIs. The walks, 20 of them, have certainly helped his cause by getting at least an on-base percentage. And how do you go 3-0?
Well, it's easy. Just move the glove over. He's trying to throw it for the corner. He's proved to me he can't do that on a consistent basis. This is his 6th start. You have to be a little more aggressive. You have to trust your stuff, and you don't do it when it's 3-0. I don't mean throw it down the middle of the plate. If you're trying to throw it for the corner, it's not going there. Throw it for the middle, it's not going to end up there either, because you're not making your pitches. And that is why, as long as he is a starting pitcher for the Orioles, pitch count's going to get him. You have to try to be more aggressive. And as a somewhat veteran guy at 31, even though Rick Granite's a pitching coach tells him that, it's up to him.
So he's walked a leadoff batter with an 8-0 lead. Here's Rodriguez, who popped out his first time up. And A-Rod will foul that one off outside of first base, and there'll be no play.
And in the old days, with a 9-man pitching staff, if you went out there and you walked the leadoff guy, Earl would be on the top step. He would be getting somebody ready in the bullpen. Because if you don't want to throw strikes, he said, I'll bring somebody else in to do it. Now, I know you don't want to do that. And we have a 13-man staff, and you still use them more than you really have to or want to.
Still not a bad idea, though.
Well, it works.
That pitch is down low.
And he'd also get a guy that he knew you didn't want to have come in. That would even get you to be a little bit more focused.
Just to rub it in a little bit.
But in retrospect, whether it was Davey Leonard or Sammy Stewart or whatever, our longmen, they were all accomplished pitchers.
Well, Eaton with the leadoff man on. Rodriguez and then Matsui due up here. A-Rod, the homer that came in the ball game in his first at bat yesterday, still the lone hit in the series. And Eaton is way up high with it and asks for Zahn to come out as the count goes to 2 balls and 1 strike.
You know, I was kind of wondering, you think something happened to him when the bat went over his head to end last inning?
I mean, it obviously scared him, and he went down on the ground.
I mean, he had to really get down very quickly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, nothing real subtle, even though he did kind of kick out. He did fall on his shoulders or whatever, even though it didn't look that abrupt.
2 ball, 1 strike count. And A-Rod will take it inside. And Eaton falls behind on the count here. 3 balls and 1 strike. Orioles have won 2 and lost 3 in the 5 starts that he has made on the season. 69 wins, 66 losses in his career, with that 1-1 mark against the Yankees. Hasn't pitched against them since 2006. And incredibly, the first 2 batters are walked here in the 4th inning.
Well, it's tough to change your spots when you're a nibbler. There's your slider, a little cutter. Turns it over. Another one. You could say him underneath everything. Trying to find his release point, which he can't. So there's your second walk.
So runners on at first and second for the Yankees. That'll bring up Hideki Matsui. The score may be 9-0, but we are only in the 4th inning.
And the Yankees are well aware of that.
And they lead the league and tied for the league lead in homers. So it's not as though it takes them a long time to get back into the ball game. 9 runs, 10 hits, no errors for the O's. Matsui will take it for a strike. Yankees are 0-1-1. The only hit they've had, Jeter. The other base runners, 3 of them, have made it via the walk here. 4 now. The 2 in this inning. And the 0-1 delivery. Matsui. That's up high. 1-1. Hideki Matsui will be the Yankee designated hitter throughout the season, so long as he remains healthy. And right now it looks like he's in playing shape. On the outside.
Yeah, and Jeff Nelson, the home plate umpire, is doing a nice job. He is actually making you throw the ball over the plate. Hitters love that. If you throw it on the corner, he calls it. If you're off the corner, it's a ball. Really the way it's supposed to be. There's a very, very fair strike zone for both hitter and pitcher.
Matsui takes it inside, and the count goes to 3-1.
And they're going to get somebody up only because he's just not cooperating in the game plan of trying to win the game. It's not that you're trying to be punitive, you're just trying to win. I mean, that's the one thing that I learned from Earl. You win today and you worry about tomorrow. So if you have to go to your bullpen early, you match up. You try to win today's game and you'll deal with tomorrow.
3 ball, 1 strike count. Hideki Matsui. Eaton is working himself into a situation where he'll be a pitcher with a 9-0 lead who might not stay in the ball game long enough to win it.
And even if he does, and he does get the 5 innings in as he tries to work through the 4th here, pitch count's going to get him. He's maxing out. He's not going to throw more than 100, 105. You have to make your manager think you want to stay out there.
68th pitch right here. 3-2, and he's walked. The bases loaded. 3 consecutive walks to start the 4th inning. That'll bring Rick Kranitz out in a hurry. If anything is going to rush along the young pitchers in the organization coming to the major league level, it will be these kinds of performances.
Well, it really is. If you look at the team earned run average, as starters, it's just too high. I mean, it's not where you want it to be. So again, as the season progresses, you're getting the opportunity to prove you can pitch here at the major league levels. He was released by Philadelphia in the spring. The Orioles figured, hey, we'll take a chance on him. He actually threw the ball pretty well in his first start against Tampa Bay, even though he lost, better than he had at any point. But at the end of the day, when your team gets you a 9-0 lead, you have to challenge the other team. You got to trust your stuff enough to throw the ball over the plate.
Nick Swisher, he's got the bases loaded.
So if you're a young pitcher in the minor leagues for the Orioles, and the older experienced guys don't want to seize the opportunity, boy, that's the right organization to be in.
Yep. Teixeira, Rodriguez, and Matsui, the base runners. 0-1 delivery, and a 1 ball, 1 strike count on Swisher, who is 0 for 3 with the bases loaded so far this season.
I mean, Adams looking in, but that's a hanging curveball that wasn't even close to being a strike. By the 4th inning, you know the strike zone by the home plate umpire. Not that it's tiny, it's just fair.
1 ball, 1 strike delivery on the way. Swisher will take that one to left field. Montañez will drift in, not very deep. Teixeira is going to try and go. Here's the throw coming into the plate and not in time. A sacrifice fly for Swisher. Teixeira scores the first Yankee run, 9-1.
Yeah, good communication. Right there saying, should I go? Yep. The scouting report, not a strong arm. Accurate. Not a lot on it. I don't think he thought he was going to run. Now 9-0, but it's a heads-up play by the Yankees because they get on the board. They only trail by 8.
That'll be RBI number 7 for Swisher. Montañez just couldn't get enough on that to get it to the plate in time. Runners have to stay at first and second. Rodriguez and Matsui. Now Robinson Cano. Cano hit into a double play his first time up, 1 down. And takes the pitch for a strike.
Every time I see Adam Eaton pitch, it reminds me of what Johnny Sain, who was a terrific pitcher, also a great pitching coach, and Leo Mazzoni, who was with the Orioles for a number of years. He learned his craft from Johnny. And Johnny said, hey, you want the ball to move within the framework of the strike zone, not move out of it. So again, make the ball move, cut it a little bit, but throw it somewhere over the plate.
That ball to second base. Brian Roberts is Torres. And another double play. Cano has hit into 2 of them. So only 1 run scores. And the Yankees had the first 3 on with nobody out. Roberts is Torres to Huff, and the Yankees lead it 9-1.
Inning started pretty easy, just a ground ball by Luke Scott, and 8 runs and 8 hits later. Missed plays. There you go. Phil Hughes will leave. Didn't get hit hard early, but eventually that would be the case. So the Orioles score 8 in the second, and then the Marakis home run to make it 9-1.
Yankee starter Philip Hughes charged with 8 runs, 8 hits, and an inning and 2/3. He walked 2, didn't strike out anybody, and gave up the home run to Aubrey Huff. And while Ramirez, 28-year-old, coming on in relief, gave up the home run to Nick Marakis in the last inning. Melvin Moore is 0 for 2, popped out, flied out. Slider will be taken away. Well, the Orioles trying to set up a rubber match for tomorrow in Game 3. It'll be Koji Uehara 2-3 against Jabba Chamberlain 1-1.
Well, what a great pitching matchup.
1:35 first pitch tomorrow afternoon, Mother's Day.
You know, Jabba coming off a 12th strikeout. I saw him running today when I was doing something for the K's for Kid program out there. I said, just think how many guys you could have struck out if you went 9. Struck out 12 in a little over 5 innings. And then Koji coming off one of his best outings, even though he lost to Tampa.
And the argument continues to rage in New York about whether the Yankees should have Chamberlain in the bullpen or as a starter. And that has been going on forever. Tomorrow's pitching matchup brought to you by M&T Bank. Looking forward. There are the numbers so far. Opponent batting average higher against Chamberlain than Uehara.
Yeah, he's learning how to be a starting pitcher where we know he can pitch the 8th inning, and that's been the case by a lot of people. I'll tell you what, I like Phil Hughes. I know he had a horrible night tonight, but I take his stuff and go out there right now because I obviously, sitting here at 63, have a lot more experience. But again, for Jabba ever to come back into that role, their young pitchers have to pitch well. Long has to come back off the hip problem.
Popped up to Sherrup. And Mora is retired, 1 away here in the 4th inning. Don't forget to go online and vote for the All-Star game at Orioles.com, and your chance to vote orange, save green by voting for your favorite birds the maximum 25 times. You'll receive a free upper reserve seat to any non-prime game after the All-Star break. So vote early, vote often. Orioles.com/vote orange. I voted for the first time today. Probably won't vote again till end of June. There's some names staring out at you that already look like they're going to the All-Star game. Pitch is taken up high by Luke Scott. Scott 2 singles, 2 runs scored in the ball game already. Luke's batting .295, 5 home runs, 15 RBIs. And while Ramirez being asked to do some long duty here out of the bullpen for the Yankees.
And as we mentioned, he's at least he was last year, and even this year, a strikeout guy. So and again, when it takes you a long time to get to the big leagues, even though the score is 9-1, you're not throwing in the white towel. This is how you stay on the team, because they're looking for people to come in and pitch in the middle of the ball game.
Ramirez has worked as long as 2 innings this season. That's his longest. They too suffering through injuries. Brian Brunny, probably the biggest loss, the right-hander out of the bullpen, who had been very effective for them, and Marte is out as well.
Well, they said that he's probably, at least at the earliest, 2 to 3 weeks back, and that's a stretch right there. But boy, he was, after being hurt last year, foot problem last year, elbow problem this year. What an arm, and able to control it.
3-1 delivery on the way. That'll be grounded into right field for a base hit. And Cano looks over at Teixeira like, you went to the bag and didn't go towards the ball. He's going to make the play on it, though, and Scott's 3 for 3 in the ball game. We have an email question from Steve, Miami Beach, Florida. The rule book says the strike zone is from the knees to the letters. Why don't the umps call it that way?
Because they can.
Not.
Right. They just, every umpire, even though the rule book does say what Steve was talking about, they have their own strike zone. Some give you, when Sandy Alderson, who is now at San Diego, was in the commissioner's office, he said basically we want to go back to that old strike zone. And that's why a lot of the umpires got off their knees and actually got above the catcher to try to maybe get the higher strikes. But guys are still going to call. Some guys are going to give you the belt high pitch. Some aren't. Some guys are going to give you balls off the corners. Some aren't.
1-0 delivery, a towering shot, left field, Lou Montañez. And goodbye, home run, a 2 RBI homer for Montañez, and the 3rd dinger tonight for the O's.
Boy, was that ball smoked. There it is, first one in 2009. First bat for the Orioles last year, homer. 11-1. Watch this ball sail out of here. Goodbye. Edouard Ramirez found out about young Lou Montañez in a bad way. Good way for Lou.
Ramirez has now surrendered 5 home runs in 13 innings. The Yankees continue to cough him up at an alarming rate, as they have now equaled the output of homers they've hit. And Montañez, the force was with him. 11 runs on 12 hits for the Orioles, and they have the 11-1 lead in this ball game.
Well, Edouard Ramirez found out what most major league pitchers find out: when you stay in the middle of the plate around the belt, whether it's a breaking ball or a fastball, somebody's going to have a good swing. Doesn't mean you're always going to hit it. You don't see too many low and away fastballs going out of the ballpark.
And that won't hurt the cause of getting more playing time in left field. Zahn backs off. He has 2 singles in the ball game.
Well, I might pitch in a little bit too. It's a little late. I mean, the horse is out of the barn.
Yankee team with all the home runs hit and surrendered. There have been 12 runs per game scored by the Yankees and their opponents this year, the most in the majors. And that number is not going to go down in this ball game. 2 ball, 2 strike count. So the bottom of the order that we've talked about, Scott is 3 for 3, 3 runs scored. Montañez is 2 for 2 with a walk, a home run, 2 runs scored, 2 RBIs. Greg's on at the plate, takes it down to first, played to the bag by Teixeira, so he's now 2 for 3 with a run scored and an RBI. And as Torres is coming up, has been hit by a pitch and scored, and is 0 for 1. Wow. That's a lot of work at the bottom 4 for the Orioles.
Well, depth in your lineup. I mean, I still go back to the first year when the Red Sox broke that curse. Bill Miller led the American League in hitting, and what did he do? Hit 9th for the Red Sox that year. That's good balance up and down.
Went away.
Well, yes, he did. He had all kinds of knee problems.
Yep.
Toughed it out for a year or 2. They traded him to the Dodgers.
What a way to go.
I think he's a batting instructor with the Dodgers now.
I think you're right. Yep. Here is his Torres. He is hit by a pitch, stolen a base, scored a run. 0 for 1. Hitting .250 though. So he's upped his average. And the pitch is outside from Ramirez. So the Orioles, with the 3 home runs they've hit in the ball game tonight, they have now upped their total to 33 home runs on the season. 1-1 delivery. That one towards the hole. Teixeira goes after this one, knocks it down. Ramirez covering, will get there in time. But the Orioles will add 2 more. 2 runs, 2 hits, the 2 RBIs to Lou Montañez, his first homer of the year. Yes!
At the top of the 5th, joined now by Rod Kubatko, MASNsports.com, School of Rock. He's not a doctor, but he's going to play one on TV right now. Dennis Surfate explained an unusual ailment that led to the numbness in his hand.
Right, I've played doctor plenty of times. This is no problem for me. He mentioned about having an artery that was stretched in his shoulder, and he compared it to an old garden hose that ended up getting cracks, and platelets were formed that sealed off the crack in the artery, and one of them became dislodged and ended up cutting off the circulation to the middle finger in his right hand. Now, if I'm going to have any part of my body be cut off, I'm going to, I'd root for the middle finger, but for a pitcher, that's bad news. But he says that he's going to be able to start doing cardio exercises maybe in a week, throw in about 3 weeks, and he thinks he'll go on a rehab assignment before the All-Star break. It's a long ways off, but at least it's not career-threatening. It's not life-threatening, but he just has the most bizarre injuries. This is a guy who hurt his shoulder last year when a door slammed into it. Now he's got platelets becoming dislodged and cutting off circulation. He just needs to have a good old-fashioned hamstring injury.
Manager Dave Tremblay was asked today on the status of outfielder Felix Pie. He said he's on the team. When he's in the lineup, he'll bat. That's pretty simple. How do you interpret?
Dave should be on Dancing with the Stars the way he's circling around that question. But really, what can he say at this point? Because PA is on the team, but they're not going to let him sink or swim at this point. Just let him play every day when he's hitting 158 and when they were getting no production at the bottom third of the order. They are still trying to win games. They want to take a long look at Lou Montañez, who just got done homering. Nolan Reimold's beating down the door. So really, what can you say other than he's still on this team, and when he's in the lineup, he's going to get 4 at-bats and play as hard as he can. But he didn't tell us how often he'll be in that lineup. And you've got Joey Gath right now in AAA, who is not here to take PA's place, but could be the extra outfielder in AAA if by chance somebody happens to get called up later.
Very good. Here's Rod Kubatko. The blog is School of Rock at MASNsports.com. Send it now to Gary and Jim.
All right, Mark, Rock, thanks very much. And certainly Montañez has not hurt his cause in this game with a home run, a single, 2 runs scored, and a walk. Runner on at second base, Cabrera delivering the double. Cervelli, the number 9 hitter, and the catcher, takes a strike on the outside corner, 1 and 2.
Yeah, I would imagine
trying to get through the 5th.
Yeah, well, the leadoff double doesn't help, but he's got plenty of run support, obviously. You would think PA would, if Scott starts in the outfield, you have a lead, he'll come in for defense. The same with Montañez. That'll be his role right now.
Eaton will step off with the 1-2 count. Yankees now have 2 hits. They had a leadoff single at Jeter in the first inning leading off the ball game, and now here in the 5th. But it hasn't felt that way because of the 5 walks that have been surrendered, so there have been runners on base for the Yankees. New bat's got to be, well, the old one's all right, as it went flying all the way to the back. Well, Cervelli will see if he can get a better grip.
Well, the next pitch will be his 80th. Well, again, doesn't matter what the score. They got him 8 runs in the 2nd inning. He's just going to pitch to his style. Red Sutcliffe used to say that. Red Sutcliffe, of course, a terrific pitcher, but he said, you know, when I lost my stuff, boy, I can't afford them to see 4, 5, 6 pitches, and then he'd go out and show every hitter 4, 5, 6 pitches. It's just his style.
1-2 delivery, missed outside. Cervelli taking a long look, and a 2-ball, 2-strike count. The Yankee catcher is just a rookie, and certainly he didn't expect to be here catching major league games for them, but with the 2 injuries to Jorge Posada and Molina, here he is, and a great chance for him at the age of 23. 2-2 delivery. That ball is going to be foul back. He's not put up much in the way of offensive numbers. Batted .231 spring training this season. Overall, last year in the minor leagues, not bad, but it's his catching abilities that have kept him employed.
Yeah, only 73 bats above A ball. And that was last year he was called up to Trenton.
2-ball, 2-strike count on him. Cabrera off second base. Cervelli will pop that one up. First base. Nope. Called off by Roberts. Ryan's got it, and there's one away. On Wednesday, June 17, the first 25,000 fans 15 and over at the Orioles Mets game here at Camden Yards are going to receive an Adam Jones bobblehead. This unique bobblehead features Adam leaping for a catch against the center field wall while blowing a bubble. And that's going to be a big hit by the fans. That's a unique one. You can get your tickets in advance, 888-848-BIRD or Orioles.com. And those of you who watch know that Adam blows bubbles when he hits, when he fields, when he runs, when he slides. There are usually bubbles being blown, so an appropriate bobblehead. Derek Jeter. Outside for a ball. Jeter's walked and singled. Come on, blow it. Let's go. Got all day. Showed it. It showed that. That was just to try and keep you interested. Foul back into the screen by Jeter. And a 1-ball, 1-strike count.
Well, he's going to love to hit at New Yankee Stadium the way he can hit the ball to right center. Of course, he loves to hit just about anywhere. He's closed it in on the all-time Yankee hit record that Lou Gehrig has. Closing in on a lot of things. 315 lifetime batting average.
Probable future Hall of Famer. Not thinking about getting done. Jeter will take the pitch, and that one will miss. He too, 35 years old. 2-ball, 1-strike count, 1 away. Still loves playing the game.
Well, the article in the Times today said, well, Jorge Posada, who they really missed with a hamstring problem, he'll be 38. Andy Pettit will be 37 next month. Johnny Damon will be 36 in November. Matsui Jeter will be 35 next month.
That one is Torres gets in front of. And a fine professional play right there. No side saddle on it. He got the body. 2 down.
And then Jeter will tell you, I don't think about the fact that I'm 35. He worked with Nick Kelleher, and because everybody said he lost range, and most people think his range really increased, as did his Torres right there. Not an easy play because he can't pick his hop there. And right there, he's got to take that short hop. Boy, does he have nice soft hands. Stays with it. Long throw.
Runner at third base now with 2 down. 11-1 lead for the O's. Damon has struck out, grounded out. Has the 5-game hit streak. Eaton will get that one in there for a strike to him. Johnny Damon at 306. His average on the season. And takes that to right field. Marakis seeing how far it goes. Goodbye. Home run, Johnny Damon. A 2 RBI shot for the Yankees to make it 11-3.
Yeah, Adam Eaton not happy where that curveball arrived. Of course, he hadn't thrown a whole lot of good ones tonight. And when you hang a curveball, you speed up the bat. Look at it. Room service. And when it lands, the Yankees are only down by 8.
That is the 8th home run for Johnny Damon, and RBIs 21 and 22.
27th career home run against the Orioles. That's an amazing number. You look at him as a leadoff guy, even though he's hitting the number 2 spot this year, but he can hit for power.
And he's hit 18 of those home runs right here at Camden Yards. Here is Mark Teixeira. Takes it inside. Teixeira's walk scored and popped out, hitting at 190. 3 runs, 3 hits now for the Yankees. 11 runs, 12 hits for the O's. That'll be fouled away. Seldom will you see such a struggle by a starting pitcher in a ball game where he has a 9-0 lead, trying to get to the point of where he can be the pitcher of record.
But Gary, that pitch right there was 91, and you can look at the pitch total right there. He doesn't want to throw 91. He doesn't want to be aggressive early on. Now, I'm going to cut it. I'm going to sink it. I'm going to do this, and then the count's going to be 2-1. Hitters counts. It's just pitching backwards. And Chad Moeller said, who's the Orioles backup catcher, he said he needs to establish his fastball, and he's just reluctant to do it.
And that one is drilled. Teixeira's got one way back. Goodbye home run. Back-to-back homers. It's 11-4.
Home run number 6. 5 of them from this side of the plate. Well, there's the expo of the windup of Adam Eaton, and this fastball ends up in the middle of the plate, and then the minute the ball's hit that hard. Watch this one. Curveball was in the middle. That one can't be throwing 89 to a guy that averages 30 home runs and 100 RBIs every year, even if he's slumping to some degree.
Teixeira gets his 6th home run, his 14th RBI. A-Rod, towering fly ball, center field. Jones has room on the warning track, puts it away. A Yankee explosion with home runs, 2 of them here in the 5th inning to make it 11-4. After losing last night, being shut out 4-0. How great is this game? You get no runs on 4 hits one night, and the next night, midway through, you've got 11 runs on 12 hits.
Well, it tells you how good CC Sabathia was last night.
Ryan Roberts leading it off, and while Ramirez came on after Hughes worked just an inning and 2/3, Ramirez has been charged with the 3 runs including 2 home runs, one by Montañez and one by Marakis. Aubrey Huff had the other one in the game that came off Hughes.
So the Orioles,
Roberts RBI sac fly.
Yeah, and what you want to keep doing is tacking them off. And they've done that 3 times against Ramirez. Ooh, reach back. One of those nights.
On the upper deck, bounced off the facade.
It's one of those nights where if you're the Yankees and there's a Alvarado, you think that they have your pitches. We had games like that. We'd be in Cleveland. We're looking to see if they have cameras in the center field bleachers. I mean, 0-2 pitch hit that far foul. Maybe the Orioles are just seeing the ball well tonight.
Nice comeback.
Well, it just seems. Again,
I hear you.
Yeah, you know, there are nights like that. And then the soft hit balls are finding holes. There's a good changeup finally.
And Roberts retired on the strikeout. Ramirez is first. One away here in the 5th inning.
Well, let's look at Jonesy. First time up, curveball. There's your Exmo. Path of the bat head to the ball. What does he get on that one? And then actually, Philip Hughes makes a pretty good pitch here. He gets the ball in, but again, that short swing. Next time up, though, just on the end of the bat. So again, a lot of it has to do the path of the bat head to the ball. Do you get the good wood or do you get the bad wood? 2 out of 3 times tonight. A couple of doubles. Adams been able to do that.
And he's now hitting .351 on the season with 5 homers and 20 RBIs. And he has hit the ball hard. Jones, 1 down, nobody on, 1-0 count to him. And another one. Oh, he caught the third base umpire, Bob Davidson.
Jeez.
Foul ball. Sometimes you move the wrong way right into that one.
Well, that's like X-Men right there. Where did that hit him? And another screamer. Oh, yeah, that curve. Yeah, got him somewhere on the right side. Well, maybe off the bicep. Maybe he does lift weights. There you go.
Yeah, but that's right. Show him. Oh, yeah, I've been to the gym. Here's the 1-1. Good off-speed delivery by Ramirez. 1 ball, 2 strike count. Tell you about Adam Jones. Consideration, all-star game, great start. He's got the 2nd highest batting average of a center fielder in the majors. 342. Carlos Beltran at 377 is the only center fielder with a higher average. 1-2 delivery on the way, and he went around on that. No argument. 2 strikeouts for Ramirez in the inning. Enter now at Orioles.com to win the Oriole Park Fireworks Night VIP Experience Sweepstakes. One lucky winner is going to get 4 VIP seats. It's an Orioles-Tigers game Friday, May 29, first fireworks night. You'll get VIP parking, passes to watch BP on the field. All you got to do is enter. Visit Orioles.com today. Good luck. Fireworks tonight, 11 runs, 12 hits for the O's. Down to first. Teixeira's got the Marakis ground ball, and Ramirez retires the side in order. Orioles on top as we've completed 5, 11-4. advantage covering the last month from Danny Baez. He has virtually been unhittable. Baez has come on in tough ball games and shut down opponents.
Well, look at those numbers right there. Last 5 appearances, and in those 5 games, the opposition is 2 for 29. So again, he tried to make the club. I mean, to his credit, as a starter, they decided probably about 3.5, 4 weeks into spring training, you're better off in the bullpen. Started throwing the splitter. Sinker's been great. Velocity's been great. Slider's been great. And the split finger fastball gives him 3 above average pitches. And he's healthy.
Baez will come on for Adam Eaton, who's got a chance to win this ball game, giving up the 4 runs on 4 hits over 5 innings worked, including 2 home runs. Johnny Damon and Teixeira. Baez against Matsui, who was walked and flied out. Hideki Matsui hitting 283. He'll take a chopper, and I mean a chopper. Baez says go to first, makes the play. Huff gets there, 1 away.
And he calls that play early. That is the way that you do it. He's the only viable candidate anyway to make this play. So again, the minute he calls him off. I got it. And then Aubrey Huff goes back to the bag. You can see him scurrying over there. If Aubrey can scurry.
Of course he can scurry.
Well, he did.
Man of that agility.
And there was your Exmo. Another sinker, just turned it over, and Matsui pounded it off the original Baltimore chop for out number 1.
Left-handers hitting 77 against Baez. Right-handers 179. Here is Nick Swisher, and he powers one way back in right field. Goodbye, home run, Nick Swisher. This thing is not over. It's 11-5.
No, they're not going away. Thigh high inner half. 7 home runs down the last 14 games for Nick Swisher here at Camden Yards, 8th of the season. I was talking to him on opening day. He said, I'm probably going to get 500 at bats, and I'm trying to figure out if that's going to happen. And then Nady hurts himself. Guys get slow starts. He's playing all over the place, and the one thing he can do is get on base and hit home runs. He's always been able to do that.
Back out onto the field comes the baseball, and 5 runs, 5 hits as the Yankees with 3 home runs in the ball game and coming in the last 2 innings. The Yankees, 43% of their runs are scored on homers. That's coming into the ball game. In the majors, that is the 4th highest number. And a chopper. Huff backing up. Baez covers. Cano is retired. 2 down here in the 6th. This copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the Orioles may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Orioles. 2 away, nobody on. Orioles had a 9-0 lead at one point before the Yankees were able to get on the board. In the 4th inning, RBI Swisher. He's got 2 of them, one on the sac fly and one on the homer. The pitch will be taken down low. Cabrera doubled, scored in the 5th inning, 1 for 2 for the switch hitting center fielder. Cabrera, 286 career average here at Camden Yards. He's had 1 home run here in this ballpark. And scooped up by Zahn.
Yeah, when you talk to Danny Baez, he will tell you the Tommy John surgery, the elbow's fine. You know, every once in a while, and when he gets as much work as he has been getting, a couple of innings on the 4th of this month down in Tampa Bay, the shoulder will get a little bit tired. It's kind of a long armor. What's that? A big extension back there. So he's got to somehow, in his windup, get his arm back and then up on top to throw downhill. And that's why timing is so important. One of the few relievers that actually throws from a windup.
He has given up a couple of home runs this year. 1 right, 1 left. Well, Cabrera, 3 and 1.
Yeah, this might be one of those nights where it doesn't look like he has a real live arm. So command might be the question. That's why it would have been nice to maybe get another inning or so out of Adam Eaton. Didn't happen.
3-1 delivery on the way. With the home run by Swisher, it ends the run that Baez had. 9 innings he had worked without allowing a run over the last 6 appearances, including this ball game where he got the first out. 3 ball, 2 strike count. And Cabrera's gone. He thought he had a walk. He did, but it's going to go the other way. Baez gets the K. 1 run on 1 hit. No errors, nobody left on. Swisher with his 8th home run, accounting for run number 5. 11-5 O's.
With 19 RBIs, has the 4th best batting average in the Eastern League at .355. That's your update on the minor leagues. Now to our big leaguers in the booth, Gary and Jim.
He has good taste, doesn't he?
Oh, big leaguer.
Just has such great taste. Lies a little, but hey,
yeah,
still good taste.
Abeladeo is coming in. And you can see the ERA higher than he once again. Well, walks good. Again, you come in, and that's, again, a lot of times you come in with inherited runners. That's how they judge the middle relievers.
Aubrey Huff leading it off. He'll take the pitch for a strike. Aubrey Huff, big damage in the 2nd inning.
Actually going to hit a pretty good curveball. It's down, but he goes down and gets it. I always tell you about lefties being good low ball hitters. He golfs that one out of here. Big 3-run home run.
5 home runs on the season. This one goes to Jeter at short. Abeladeo gets the out on Huff, 1 away here in the 6th inning. Ramirez went 3 1/3, 3 runs, 4 hits, no walks and a strikeout in relief of Hughes. The starter lasted only an inning and 2/3, gave up 8 runs on 8 hits. Big house on hand here at Camden Yards tonight. And a ball game with all kinds of activity. 11-5, Orioles lead it. Melvin Morris had an 0 for 3 tonight, an 0 for 7 so far in the series. And will take the pitch down low for a ball. Abeladeo is 2-1 on the year. His 14th appearance. He's worked 14 innings. And he's been tagged. Pitch is a strike. He's given up 12 runs on 15 hits in 14 innings, including 3 home runs. Opponents hitting .294 off it.
And they must be multi-run home runs. You get the ERA that high. And again, the walk's only 5. Came out of the Pirates organization.
Part of the problems that we talked about earlier that the Yankees have had with this bullpen, they have not been able to get this thing settled down. That's one of the reasons today they brought Brett Tomko on board, joining the ball club today. As the Yankees pen is ranked 12th in ERA, they've given up more home runs than any other bullpen. And that will be taken for a strike. They have strange numbers. I mean, they've given up more home runs than any other bullpen, but they've struck out more batters per 9 innings than any other bullpen. And they've blown saves, of course, with Mariano Rivera's struggles. Here's the 2-2 delivery. Mora chasing one upstairs.
Well, I think that's one of the reasons right there at 95. Not only does Melvin Mora strike out, but they have some power arms out there. Now, do they control their stuff on a everyday basis? That might be the problem. But a big guy, I mean, what does the Exmo show you how much stress your body has? I mean, what extension? That hurts all the way up here.
All the way. Luke Scott coming up. Luke's trying to have a 4-for-4 day. Big part of the offense. And he pops that one up to left. Damon. So Abeladeo comes on as a solid 6th. He retires the side in order. 6 complete. Orioles lead.
Shortened ball game really didn't have much effect tonight.
Baez now needs to shut these guys down because they are hitting the long ball. As Torres, there's a big important leadoff out. 1 pitch and 1 out here. Baez, how important to this team as the season goes along, and what role?
Well, I think he's going to do exactly what he's going to do tonight. You'd like to have your starters maybe go another inning. He can pitch the 7th, Jimmy Johnson the 8th, and then you can choose when you want to match up either between George Sherrill and Chris Ray. And of course, Ray's got to pitch a little bit better. He's still trying to find his arm slot on a regular basis. But the bottom line is that you bring a guy in that can get you out 3 different ways, and that's pretty impressive in the middle innings.
Derek Jeter coming up, the 1-for-2 he's had in the ball game. Baez delivery will be taken for a strike. And the Yankees' problems you begin to see in the game. They have some of the same problems that the Orioles do when it comes to the pitching staff.
Well, they really do. They have it in the bullpen. And then again, Phil Hughes, he now has 3 starts. He was terrific in his first one, struggled against the Red Sox in the second one, and tonight maybe didn't pitch as badly as the runs came up, but again, he caused Joe Girardi to have to go to the bullpen early in the game. The last thing Joe wanted to do. And
Ramirez gave up some runs himself coming out of the bullpen in relief. 0-2 count on Jeter, 1 down and nobody on. Jeter hitting at .268. Single his first time up, a walk, and then the ground ball out. Jeter's had 1 hit in 7 at bats so far in this series. We're in the top half of the 7th inning. The Orioles continuing to lead the Yankees here in hopes of setting up a chance to win this series. The Yankees took the series last year 11-7 against the Orioles. Baez and the 1-2 delivery. And Jeter, swinging and missing, is out of there. 2 down.
Take a look right here, trying to catch the low and away slider as he fouls it. That was his first one. And then right here, he walks. The last thing you wanted to do right here. And then third time up, ground ball up the middle of Sturris makes a very nice play. And then the wicked low and away slider. The Exmo shows you what the slider does. Looks like a fastball. You go out to track it. It goes down and away right underneath the bat of Derek Jeter.
Johnny Damon with 2 down, nobody on. Baez trying to make it a quick inning here. Damon will take the pitch on the inside corner for a strike. And quickly gets ahead of Damon 0-2. Damon delivered a home run, his 8th of the season, in the 5th. Mark Teixeira followed the 5th back-to-back home run series that the Yankees have had this year. And Mark Teixeira has been involved in 4 of the 5. He and Johnny Damon twice have had back-to-back home runs. Teixeira 3 times now they have. Teixeira and Swisher have also done it back-to-back.
And you're seeing real good hitters looking a little funky when you have outstanding stuff on the mound.
Inside to Damon, and a 1-ball 2-strike count.
When you throw 95, which was the first strike to Johnny Damon, then you have the hard slider and the splitter that looks like that fastball. That's what got him out of the last inning. Pretty tough to do a lot of damage.
1-2 delivery. He'll lash that one foul. Yankees are trying to get to 500. They have been there 5 times this season. They are 1 below 500 right now. The Orioles 12 and 18 coming in. 1-2 delivery, and again Damon fights it off.
And if they don't win this ball game, and who knows how many runs they're going to put on the board. They're already 5 batting here in the 7th inning. All the writers will be saying, well, even if A-Rod's back, even if they hit, it's all about pitching, and those writers are going to be right on. It's not only the bullpen, but it's the starting pitching to get you deep enough so Joe Girardi can actually try to sequence his way through the back end of the bullpen.
I think Johnny Damon fouled that one right off his foot. It was a strange cut he was trying to protect as it was riding in off him, and not sure where it got him, but wherever it got him, it hurt.
Well, a couple of years ago, he hit it right off his front foot. This one, it looks like it got him right off the back foot, that left foot. So he's going to jump around. Very unusual. He stands open stance, but he can cover the outside corner.
1-2 delivery, and he's got a base hit. So Damon gets his second hit, a 2-for-4 ball game. And this ball game gets dangerously close to being close. Mark Teixeira coming up, 5th inning.
Now the high fastball, Adam Eaton. Curveball to Damon. Comes back with a fastball. Doesn't make a good pitch. And Teixeira does what he can do.
The Teixeira up again with 2 down. His 6th home run of the year, solo shot following Johnny Damon's home run. Teixeira's 5th career homer hit here at Camden Yards. Orioles have an 11-5 lead. This is an important out for Danny Baez.
And the difficulty to get Mark Teixeira out, and you touched on it earlier, Gary, is that yes, he can hit home runs. Yes, his average will be up in the 280 to 290 range, but he'll also take the base on balls, and that's what they're looking for here. If he can't swing the bat, in other words, the Orioles don't make him swing the bat, he'll take the walk. Because A-Rod's right behind him.
And that's where Teixeira should benefit enormously, with A-Rod right behind him.
And you would think right here, and as we mentioned, Baez usually with a pretty good sinker, he's going to try to throw a strike here. And I can't imagine he's going to try to trick him with a 6-run lead with Alex Rodriguez waiting on deck. Because if you walk him, all of a sudden one swing, and this game is what, 11-8. This is not the way you're supposed to pitch.
Teixeira 4th and walks in the American League starting today. 2-0 count on him. Runner at first base. He got one, grounds it to second base, played by Roberts. And Baez gets the big out. No runs, 1 hit, no errors, 1 left. 7th inning stretch time. Brought to you by Jack Daniel's Tennessee Whiskey. Please drink responsibly. Noon to 1, ESPN Zone. Details at OriolesReach.com. Bottom half of the 7th inning, and a strike taken on the outside corner. Montañez, a 2 RBI homer, his first of the year, a single and a run scored, and he has walked. Takes that to short. Jeter ranges, and on the bag. Teixeira able to drag that foot across. Montañez retired, 1 away.
Yeah, how about Ladejo comes in and actually throwing the ball quite well. It's all about balance. And then what Mick Kelleher, as that ball tails a little bit, helps to have a Gold Glove big guy with. They always talk about Teixeira with very, very long arms, even for his size. Exceptionally, like something like 38-inch arms. So he just goes out there and
Jeter throws him a slider.
Yeah,
and catches it.
He could throw him anything: cutter, slider, sailor.
Greg's on 2 for 3. 2 singles, a run scored, an RBI. Fouls it away. New York Yankees and Orioles sharing the long tradition of the Yankees once being the Baltimore Orioles. Way back there in 1901 and 1902, they played at East 29th Street.
When did they become the Hilltoppers? After that?
When they went to New York, they were purchased in 1903. They became the Hilltoppers the first year in New York after they were bought from the owners here in Baltimore and moved to New York City. So the Yankees have been the Baltimore Orioles, the Hilltoppers, and then the New York Yankees.
They didn't do an Irsay, do it in the middle of the night.
Not that I know. No. There were no trucks to back up at the time. And a 3-ball, 1-strike count on Zahn. I've never gone to where the ballpark used to be. 29th Street, Barclay Street, Greenmount Avenue. That's the area.
Well, yeah,
that one hit hard down into the corner, and Zahn's got another one. Swisher having to go over to play it, bobbled it. Zahn goes into second, and he's got a double in a 3-for-4 ball game.
Well, we've been talking all along, and he's got a great sense of humor. Maybe a little bit better tonight with 3 hits than when he was hitting 118. I said it is hard, Craig, to hit 118. I know you're better than that, and he would just start laughing. He said it's getting close, and so again, what Zahn now? He's in the last 7 games. He's got 4 multi-hit games, and we know he can catch. I'm getting the bonus right here. 250 lifetime hitter, yeah.
By adding the extra base hits, then it would not be a bad idea from the Orioles standpoint to add a run or 2. The way this game has gone, it's 11-5. Montañez, or rather it's Torres, sorry. I was going to say Montañez has had the homer, the single, the walk. Zahn has had 2 singles, a double. As Torres has had hit by a pitch, stolen base, and a run scored. And if you move one more up into the 6th hole, Luke Scott has gone 3-for-4 with 3 runs scored. So the bottom part of the order has really done a number. The top part of the order got in it in the big 2nd inning on the 3-run homer by Huff, bringing in Jones and Marakis. A couple of runs scored, 1 on a wild pitch, 1 on an error. As the Orioles get 8 runs on 8 hits in the 2nd inning off the starter Phil Hughes. 1-1 delivery on the way. Ground ball back to the mound. Runner going. There's nobody at third. A-Rod says throw it over there.
Yeah, I'm not over there. Throw it to me. Of course, he's playing way off the line. One thing about Cesar Izturis, even early on, they play him back. So maybe working on your bunting will bring the defense in. Easier to hit it by somebody. But Albert Ladeo, once again, he does an awfully good pitch. He's right here. He's saying, I got the runner. And nope, nobody there. Of course, Alex Rodriguez is pointing to first base. Alex points to first. That's where you throw it.
Throw it there. There are 2 down. Top of the order, Brian Roberts. Sac fly RBI, 0-for-3. Bryant hitting .296. Adeo, when he turns and you're looking at side view or from behind, to me looks like Jabba Chamberlain.
Yeah, but he's a bigger version. Well, we're going to see Jabba tomorrow, and this kid at 26 has good stuff, and Jabba's got another level.
Yep, sure does.
Yeah.
Whether he can sustain that as a starter is the issue the Yankees are going to see this year. 1-0 count. Roberts, runner at third base, on, and Brian will foul that one off.
Well, just think about being an eighth inning guy where you have to come in to get to Mariano Rivera versus starting. Starting, you have to, and he did it in his last game. His velocity was down by the second inning, was back up to 96, 97. So you might have to pitch like the eighth inning in the first inning, but you have to kind of do it when you need it.
Yes.
And I don't know if he's learned that. He's a marvelous talent, though.
1-1 delivery on the way, and Roberts on a pitch that was down and into him in the end. And a 1-ball, 2-strike count. Bryant striking out his last time up. The Orioles only a couple of Ks in the game. And they have drawn just 2 walks, both of those coming off Hughes.
But again, when you have an arm like Java Chamberlain, it's like driving a Ferrari and somebody saying, well, we got to drive 20 miles per hour. It doesn't mesh.
Tough to not use that extra gear.
Yeah. That's how he can throw the baseball. Actually, he can pitch the baseball because he's got great command of his stuff. He will figure it out as a starter. I have no doubt about that if he can stay healthy. And part of the process when you're young, to his left, and Java's on the right here, he's talking to A.J. Burnett, who had similar stuff and had his best year last year with 19 wins up in Toronto.
And fouled away. Keeps the at-bat alive. 2-2. Zahn on at third base with 2 down. Roberts trying to pick up the RBI. He's got 12 of them on the year. Orioles have the 11-5 lead, but certainly wouldn't mind adding to it. Dave Tremblay's ball club, big offensive output early. Tomorrow afternoon, 1:35 first pitch for Game 3. Monday will be an off day, and then Tampa Bay will be coming in for 2 games. Tampa Bay walloped Boston today, 14-5. The final score there. Toronto got their win over Oakland, 6-4 today. Here's the 2-2 delivery, and Roberts again will fight it back. It stays at 2-2.
Well, the American League East, which is arguably the best division in baseball by a mile, has gotten even better with Toronto playing the way they are, with all the offense. So Joe Girardi, he's supposed to be one of the halves. Don't want to be a half now. But now I think everybody's finding that it's difficult to beat the teams here on a regular basis because they all do a lot of things pretty well.
Roberts is gone. A call, strike 3. No argument on that one. Orioles, no runs, 1 in, no errors, and a base runner left on, leading it 11-5. Homer for Nick Marakis. He's had his 6th home run, RBI, and a couple of runs scored. Lou Montañez, a big night as he's had his 1st home run, 2 RBIs, and 2 runs scored. Text in your vote, A, B, or C, 518-62. A-Rod stands in, 0 for 2 and a walk in the ballgame. Baez pitched to him. Will be taken for a strike. We go to the top half of the 8th inning. The Orioles on top of that 11-5 lead, out hitting the Yankees. 13 hits on the board. 6 for the Yankees. And the pitch to A-Rod is outside. 1-1. Rodriguez 3 for 15 lifetime off Danny Baez. A-Rod's second ball game of the year. Grounded to short is Torres. 1 down.
Well, unless you really go back and look at Danny Baez, when the Orioles got him, he had some elbow problems. But when we were down in Tampa, when he was coming in, I'm realizing, he had 30 and 41 saves in back-to-back years. He was real good. And Dave Tremblay got to be very, very pleased. Matsui, Jamie Walker, the left-handed specialist. Matsui 2 for 8. So Baez comes in and does exactly what you want him to do.
Walker goes an inning and a third, gives up just 1 hit and strikes out 2. Jamie Walker will face Matsui. He held the fort, and now Jamie Walker on to face Hideki Matsui. Matsui 0 for 2 and a 1.
Yeah, lefty's 4 for 10 this year. But
that may a bubble.
That would have made it 4 for 11. Jamie came in against the Twins the other night, retired the only batter, and that's pretty much the way he's used. Now retired 2 of the first 5 first hitters he's faced, but again very deceptive, kind of steps across his body and then tries to catch this ball in fair territory. When it's hit that slowly, take the out if you can. Unable to do it.
1 strike count on Matsui. Swisher, switch hitter, and then Cano, the left-hander, in the lineup for the Yankees. 1 down here in the 8th inning. Big cut as he had the front foot bailing on that one. 0-2.
Well, we're always taught, whether it's your slider, you want to stay on top of it. Mike Cuellar, who had some marvelous years for the Orioles throughout the first pitch, Cy Young Award winner in 1969, worked with Jamie Walker in spring training this year. Try to stay on top of your stuff. Stay more on top of your slider. That was a good one right there.
And another one. And Walker gets the strikeout. 2 down.
So back-to-back sliders, and again, if you stay on top of them, they go down. They have what they call tilt, good angle. Otherwise, they flatten out and they become hittable. So it starts in the middle of the plate. Again, look at this. You don't see the ball very well. And again, staying on top. Exmo tells you it's easy to talk about staying on top of your pitches. Sometimes hard to do. It was for Jamie last year, and it led to some elbow problems.
Nick Swisher. He delivered a home run in the 6th inning, his 8th of the year. He has 2 RBIs in the ball game. Up high for a ball. Right-handed, hitting .292, left-handed .257. 8 home runs on the season now, with 5 of them coming from the other side of the plate. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and that is in there for a strike. 2 down, nobody on, 8th inning.
You can see from the radar gun, not a hard throw. It's about guile and deception, movement, location for Jamie Walker.
Swisher started. It's a strike anyway. And he's behind on the count to Walker.
It's like that changeup hit Winshear on the way to home plate. Well, Nick came in getting on base 40% of the time. Forget the ability also to hit home runs. That's what he does. Comes out of the Oakland organization. You don't get to the big leagues if you can't get on base.
1-2 delivery. That'll be fouled back to hold the count. Swisher has continued to draw the free passes, which have always been a big part of his ball game. He and Mike Teixeira will probably be the 2 leaders in that department. What Swisher gave them while A-Rod was out, though, was the extra base hit. He is 5th in extra base hits in the American League. And on the road, that .362 batting average is the 10th best road average. Takes the pitch away from Walker, and a 2-ball 2-strike count. Swisher trying to keep it alive for Cano, who would follow here in the 8th inning.
And of course, when you walk a lot, you strike out a lot usually. 152, 131, 135 strikeouts the last 3 years.
Here's the 2-2 delivery on the wing, and fouled it back. Walker with no record, just that 1.80 earned run average. The specialty pitchers come on to get lefties out primarily, being asked to go the inning here. Way inside will take the count full. 3-2 on Swisher.
At the moment, nobody up in the Oriole bullpen. Pretty good average right there. 350, 3-2. That's hitting with 2 strikes. What an amazing number.
3-2 delivery will be fouled off. It will stay at 3-2 to Swisher.
And I think the mindset, man, when you talk to Nick, he says, listen, I don't want to be swinging at pitches other than the ones I want to swing at until I get the 2 strikes. So you work the count. You look for pitches until you get to 2 strikes, because you don't have to swing until you get there.
3-2, and will it be fair? Will it be foul? It is a foul ball.
Well, that's a tough call, because the ball, I mean, eventually would hook. Bob Davidson already took one off the number. Line drive off his right bicep. I mean, this ball is pulverized. And then it ends up hooking foul. Looked like he was going to get up so high up, there would have been a tough call over that foul pole.
3-2 delivery, and he's gone. So Walker comes on, gets 2 strikeouts here in the 8th inning, and protecting the lead, the Orioles up over the Yankees.
And you can see he has been around Cincinnati early on, then Seattle, San Diego, St. Louis, San Francisco, Los Angeles, Kansas City. San Diego, 3 different occasions. That's where he ended up last year. Had elbow problems. They released him, but it appeared when you look at how they used him is that yes, he can start, but he also could be a guy to get him to Mariano Rivera, a transitional guy. So that's the way he was used down at AAA Scranton Wilkes-Barre. And he went, I mean, had a good year, 1-0 with 4 saves and an 0.64 ERA. What an opportunity for him.
Yankees with the door open to anybody who can start to fill the role here in the bullpen with the injuries they've had and the ineffectiveness. So you've got a catcher who had 3 major league ball games under his belt before this year, a 23-year-old rookie, and a veteran, Brett Tomko, right-hander on the mound. Cervelli went out to the mound when Tomko came on, said hello. My name is Francisco Cervelli. I will be your catcher for the ball game tonight. And the pitcher said, I'm Brett Tomko. I just joined the team today. Nice to meet you. Now they're going to work together.
And I've been pitching for 12 years and just put the numbers down and the fingers and we'll go after.
And Adam Jones up, takes the pitch away. 2 doubles in the ball game in his first 2 times up, RBI and a run scored. He is also grounded out, struck out 2 for 4 in the ball game, and he drills that one left center field. That is way back, and goodbye home run. He has done it again against a pitcher that he's never faced before. All of his home runs have been hit against guys who had never pitched against him before the home run was hit.
Now, if they've been hit this hard, though, this ball is going to fly off the new era Fitz sign, and you can see 93. Again, where is it? Belt high. There's your Exmo. Bat head to the ball. 2 doubles already. What's this ball? Right off the back wall right there. Yeah, it fits.
His 6th of the year. And with a 2 RBI ball game, he's up to 21. So Tomko joins the Yankee pitching staff, doing what the rest of the Yankee pitchers have done, surrendering homers.
Well, he only hit 9 home runs last year, even though he missed that time in late August with the broken foot. Foul ball off his foot in Seattle. Talking about Adam Jones. So, again, everything came into this season with about 530 lifetime at bats at the major league levels. Terry Crowley will tell you it's got to take at least 1,000 to 1,200 to have an idea. And the Crow's going, boy, did that ball go a long way in a hurry.
That had that big sound, the big click of one that was hit right on the button. Second base, Cano's not going to get that. Nick Marakis. He's got a single, so a 3-hit ball game for Nick. 3 for 6 with a homer and 2 singles.
Now, you can't be hanging around the middle of the plate, not against this team. Really not against any team, but the Orioles, especially at the beginning of their lineup and tonight, all through the lineup, they will make you pay. There was a great article in the Boston Globe today, Gary, about Jason Bay, 5 home runs in 14 at bats, close in late innings. And he talked as a guy that's been, he's been what, 5-6 years in the big leagues. Yet he used to ask Jason Kennedy, how do you hit those pitches? He said, you know what? You'll learn how. And that is what Adam Jones and Marakis and all those guys are learning.
And grounded down to first. That is a fair ball to Sheriff's throw high, but handled by Jeter. And Marakis will be retired on the forced play 3-6. That's the first out here in the bottom of the 8th inning. T-shirt Tuesday returns to Oriole Park next week. The first 10,000 fans 15 and over at Tuesday night's Orioles-Rays game will receive an Aubrey Huff Orioles T-shirt. And it's Ollie's Bargain Night. That's brought to you by Ollie's Bargain Outlet. Upper reserve seats are only $8. Get your tickets in advance. 888-848-BIRD to go to Orioles.com. Aubrey Huff on at first base. Melvin Morris had an 0 for 4 in this game and an 0 for 8 so far in the series. Now the Orioles now have put up 12 runs on 15 hits in the ball game and a 12-5 lead. Pitch down low. Everybody has been involved. Even though Brian Roberts doesn't have a hit, he does have an RBI and a sac fly in the ball game. Melvin Moore is the only one who has not been on base or moved somebody home in the game. 1-1 delivery is down low. Tomko, a 2-ball 1-strike count, and a rather harsh introduction to the Yankee uniform by the Orioles.
Well, you come out of AAA, and better hitters, different baseball. You're sitting at home, you're going, why? Well, less money. AAA ball made in China. Major League ball made in Costa Rica. Jim Johnson. It appears he'll come in and get some work. Pitch the 9th inning.
Melvin Mora trying to get into the hit mix here. 3-1 delivery to him, and he will. Base hit into right field. Swisher up. Huff stops at second base. And Mora's got a base hit, and the Orioles have 16 hits on the board.
Yeah, a lot of the Yankees asking if the radar gun here at the stadium may be a little bit slanted upwards. So that pitch right there at 94, and Melvin just flicks it into right field, and once again it was elevated, and he elevated it on one hop to the right fielder.
So the Orioles have reached a new high in runs scored for the season. 10 had been the previous. They get 12 tonight. That ground ball to second base. One relay over to first, and in time to get the double play. But the Orioles will add a run on 3 hits. The homer by Adam Jones, making it 12-5. And at the ballpark, Orioles have the 12-5 lead. Jim Johnson will come on to try and finish it up, as he will have the bottom part of the order due up for the Yankees.
Well, he certainly has closer stuff. This is not going to be a close with a 7-run lead, but again, he's been very good. Very much like last year, he's only allowed a run in 2 of the 12 appearances. Only 1 earned run in his last 10 games over 10 innings pitched. So again, the sinker, the hard curveball, occasional changeup. Rick Kranitz working on his windup. He has a tendency to lean a little bit to this side right here, and then he loses his directness. But again, at about 6'5", great sinker.
Robinson Cano will lead it off against him here in the 9th inning and take a strike. Cano has hit into a double play twice and grounded out 0 for 3, 2 for 7 in the first 2 games. 3 outs here, and the rubber match will be set for tomorrow with Uehara against Chamberlain. 135 first pitch. In the air, left side. Montañez coming over. And there's one of them. 1 down. There's Koji Uehara, who has pitched very well, despite the fact the record doesn't look that way at 2-3. 4.42 ERA. He's gotten better with virtually every start.
Now, I wonder if he's keeping the pitch chart.
Looks like he is, doesn't it? Or at least some chart for himself.
Yep. That's usually what you do. sit on the bench. A lot of times we'd go in and watch it from a center field camera. It gives you a better angle. At least the innings when the other team was hitting. It gives you a better perspective of what you want to try to do the next day.
Johnson wants a new ball. I want to recognize a couple of former Orioles here before we leave you tonight, because in 1961 on this date, Jim Gentile became the first major leaguer to hit consecutive grand slams in the same game. Swung on and missed. And Big Jim, when he hit a baseball, it generally went a long way, and no one else had ever done it before. Grand slams, consecutive at-bats in the same ball game back on May 9 in 1961. That is strike 3 call. Johnson gets a strikeout, and there are 2 down. And also in this date in 1987, Hall of Famer Eddie Murray became the first major leaguer to hit home runs from both sides in consecutive games. He did it against the White Sox at Comiskey Park in Chicago. A couple of Orioles with big bats who had big days. Here is Brett Gardner coming on to pinch hit for the catcher Cervelli.
Yeah, well, when we saw him opening day, he was their everyday center fielder. And then Melky Cabrera came on. High energy guy. If he gets on, he can steal bases. That's why Joe Girardi had a great spring, even though Melky Cabrera also did. And you can see, really did not have a productive offensive year for the Yanks.
Update on the AT&T voting. Still time to cast your ballot. A, B, or C. 51862. Results and O's Extra on the postgame show with Nick Marakis on top. 1-1 delivery on the way. Swung on down the line. Montañez coming. This ball game's in the books for the Orioles, who win it over the Yankees 12-5. An 8-run, 8-hit second inning gave the O's the lead that they